Hello, everybody. It's late night coffee with Kay. I'm such a goober. Okay. Oh, let me make sure I can see everything. Somebody type in a 1 if the sound is good. Hey, hey. Let me send you a link, Brianna, if you want to come in. Thanks. So the mic's not staticky or anything? That's awesome. Okay. Okay, Brianna, I sent you a link to your email. You're welcome to join in. Skeeto, I sent you a link as well. It's also in the Hangouts. That's fine, Ryan. Okay, sounds good. I don't know about you all, but my allergies are kicking in like big time. Plus, they are building next door. So anytime the wind blows, there's like a mound full of dirt all over the place that I'm like breathing in. So if I have to clear my throat and stuff, yeah, I'm not getting sick or anything. It's just, yeah, it's nasty stuff plus allergies. So, how is everyone? I'm telling you, it has like been forever, I think, since I've even attempted to go live because it hasn't been that long since I've got my PC back. So, um, hello to everybody in the chat. What's up, Skeeto?
Attempted to go live because it hasn't been that long since I've got my PC back. So,
Echo.
hello to everybody in the chat.
What's up,
Attempted to go live because it hasn't been that long since I've got my PC back.
He forgot to mute his watch page. That's so funny. He'll be back. Hey, Till. Hey, Doc. Big P. Mia. How's it going? Ryan. Always a pleasure. Of course, Skeeto. Greyhawk following Christ. Douglas Murphy. I seen Flat Derp in here earlier. I don't know if I already see him. Dominique, how's it going? Son's Daughter of Liberty. Nice to see you. Free Spirit Press. Hey, Mama, how's it going? Painful 13, nice to see you. And I think I've got everyone. Did I say Douglas? Yeah, as far as my memory is shot due to lack of sleep, um, I don't know about you all. Anybody that has tried to raise French Bulldog puppies, they deserve an award. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back or anything, but let me just tell you, it's worse than having babies, like humans. Because these dogs require every 2 hours for the first 2 weeks now. I'm already past that stage, but for the first 2 weeks, every 2 hours around the clock, I take mama to the babies to have them fed. Now, those first 10 days are crucial. I got over that hump, so it's a lot more easier now. They're on dog food, so I'm kind of starting to get back to normal. So, feeling much better, getting more rest, and thanks for all the prayers because I know you all know I've been busy. So, what's up, Skeeto? You're muted. I can't unmute you, I don't think.
Hey,
Ah,
I'm here.
there you are. How is ya?
Getting ready to make a big move on Friday. So,
Oh yeah?
yeah,
Would you like to share?
sure, yeah. So one of my best buddies in the army, a sergeant. Yeah, he's coming down to get me and pick me up, and we're gonna go out to Idaho and close to Boise. And I need some surgery. I need to have an army brother with me, to get through it. So I've already talked to him about it. Like, I just want him to be in the room and supervise the surgeries and whatever has to be done, because I've got some serious stuff going on in my leg and my abdomen. Yeah, it's not feeling good. I can't take the pain. I lay on ice packs all the time just to numb it. So it's.
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, you're kind of fuzzy.
Okay. All right. 2 seconds. Hold down the fort. I'm gonna go change my battery in my mic. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, this stuff's kind of crazy, guys, but Idaho's a real nice place if you've ever been there. So, and Boise's really nice. Good fishing, good hunting, different pace of life. So that's going to be a big change moving from Silicon Valley, but different pace of life. So that's going to be a big change moving. But it needs to happen. I got to get my body fixed up so I can start moving forward again.
I hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when you have to have these surgeries. I mean, the knee surgery alone is going to be a year-long recovery. 6 weeks, no walking, and then whatever's going on with my abdomen. Because I had my spleen taken out, and they put a net around it, and they put it back in, and I was on painkillers for like 10 years. So I haven't taken any painkillers in a while, and now the pain is like starting to get really bad. Like, there's something going on in there, and those pain meds, were masking it. So yeah, I've basically what we're gonna do is just drop off the.
You got my prayers, there, Skeeter. I've been down that road a few times out here, so I'll keep you in my prayers.
Hey, Brianna. He dropped off as soon as he said drop off.
Oops.
Yeah, he dropped off, so he'll be back.
Am I too loud by chance?
No, you sound fine. Do I sound better?
You sound perfect.
Awesome. Yeah. This condenser mic, it has a battery, so AA battery, so I can tell sometimes I'll accidentally leave it on, and yeah, so I leave it on and then it just drains because it stays plugged into my PC. So, but hey, thanks for joining, hun. It's been a couple weeks, I think, since we've even talked on Hangouts. So I don't even think I've ever had you on my show here. So awesome.
It's been real interesting, and you picked a really interesting time. I've always said if it's not odd, it must be God. Because I've been going through a lot of crazy
Trials and
stuff.
tribulations.
Well, yeah, that's putting it mildly. I think we all
Yeah,
have.
I think so. Yeah.
And boy, you can
Well-
sure tell I haven't been at my computer for a long time.
Well, I haven't been, you know, around either. Of course, I've been pretty busy, but I'm glad that you got the invitation, and you are more than welcome to share. As far as, you know, if you need to vent, if you need to just talk about what you've been going through, you know, maybe there's a reason that, you know, you were able to come on tonight. I did notice that Skeeto is back. And also, James, I sent you a link as well. Let me go ahead and just say hi to some people in the chat. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I got Fast Pace 33, Douglas Murphy, I Do All. What's up, man? Let's see. And James Munder. Yeah, go ahead and get in here, man. All right. So, before you start back, Brianna, let's go ahead and let Skeeto talk about what he was talking about before he dropped off. Because I know you all were speaking while I was getting my mic going. So, Skeeto, do you want to go ahead and finish what you were saying, hon? You're still muted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
What was the last part you heard?
You said dropping off, and then you dropped off.
Okay, so basically, my buddy, a sergeant in the Army, is coming down Thursday, and we're gonna move. You know, we're gonna put all my stuff in a U-Haul and get it up to Boise, Idaho, on Friday. And as soon as we get there and get my stuff dropped off, we're gonna check me into emergency at VA up there and figure out what's going on.
So are you like gonna be staying up there indefinitely? Like, is this a permanent thing up to Boise?
Yeah, I think
Awesome.
so.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think so. So I'll be right outside of Boise, so Idaho City.
Cool.
So
and what
it's
day
in the
is your
country.
surgery? Do you know?
I don't know. I have to go to emergency, and you know my buddy's going to be there with me.
Okay.
Yeah, will get me checked in. But he lives out in the country. He's got chickens, 1.5 acres, and you know, fishing, hunting, gardens, all that kind of stuff. So,
Well, that is amazing. And I know you've been contemplating this for a long, long time.
yeah,
Please let us know when your surgery is. I can put out something on the channel here, and we can get a whole prayer gang together for you.
that would be awesome.
And, yeah, and I knew you wouldn't mind that. But, you know, you've got my phone number, so you make sure to let me know when it is. And I'll probably be bugging you, but I won't like expect you to text me back or anything. But I most definitely want to know when you're out. So you leave your buddy my phone number, what have you, just so he can let me know, please.
I'll definitely contact, you know, everybody's number that I have. I'll contact you guys and let you know what's going on.
Awesome.
But it's gotten so serious that I can't handle the pain anymore. It's really bad.
Yeah, and you know what? As far as, you know, being awake and not being a part of the beast system and being on pain meds, there are people out there that definitely do need them and they do help. And I am, you know, one of those people. I'm on Percocets and I haven't taken any all week. Thank God for summertime because I don't hurt as bad. So, but I will tell you that I only take them when needed. So,
I don't. Yeah, okay. I don't know what's going on. Like, there's like my knee just started popping all of a sudden, and like, every time I walk up the stairs, it just pops like really loud.
Well, if you didn't need surgery, they wouldn't be doing surgery. Let's hope. Let's hope, right? But I mean, you've been dealing with this pain. It's been gradually increasing, just from what I've talk to you
Yeah.
about and what you've said. You know, I know that you've been in anxiety and pain and just, you know, needing prayer, and you know, everybody
Depression.
tonight go ahead and just, you know, because pain can cause depression. Depression causes pain. It's like a catch-22. So hey,
Skeeto,
James.
hey, what's going on? Hey,
Hey, buddy.
I have, what's going on? Hey, I have the same kind of thing. Basically,
You know,
it's
I can tell you that military people, they don't like asking for help. You know, they don't. It's just like, oh, I can handle this. I can get through it. I can do it. You know, and then it gets to a point where it's so bad. It's like then you can't take it anymore. You know.
Well, with mine, it started one day. I woke up and it was like this weird feeling, and then I couldn't feel. You know, when your legs go to sleep or whatever. Well, I had that, and then I tried to walk, and then what I ended up doing is I ended up bending my knee the other way, and I didn't feel it because my leg was asleep, and it ended up like really screwing me up. It was, but and then now it's just like really screwed up, and I think I do need surgery, but like getting with that, with the you know, the bull crap health insurance, or it's not even health insurance, it's just bull crap. They don't approve anything. I mean, I can't even get approved to get like the regular good scan to tell what kind of surgery I need. And it's like one of the most frustrating things. My friend, he had his hand is really messed up from skating, and he fell on it, just repeated injuries, but they wouldn't do the same thing. And what he ended up doing is having to sue them for money, and he actually got just paid out just now. He went through, I mean, living hell, but I mean, that seems like the only way to get money out of this, like whatever you want to call it, Obamacare, whatever the hell it is. And it's really a trap, because I couldn't afford my other insurance. I had Blue Cross, and then all of a sudden it was jacked up so high that I literally couldn't afford it. And then what they did is they said, oh, well, you're going to get fined now that you stopped your health insurance. Unless you sign up for this, and that way you won't get this fine. So the Obamacare, it plays into this because it's part of the B. It's how they will hook you into the B system. You
James,
know, by 2003, yeah.
Can you explain the premium difference between Obamacare and Blue Cross?
There is no premium, but the reason why there was a premium for Blue Cross is because it was actual health care. So you're paying for the actual, like, good doctors, a scan, whatever. Like, but it used to be like $150 or something, like a month. All of a sudden, it started going up and up and up until they were like, oh, now it's like $615. And I was like, I just couldn't afford it because it kept going up. It was like $340, then $570, and then it just kept going up and up until I couldn't afford it. And then, so like I said, I'm on this, what you want to call it, Obamacare. It's called LA Care, because you have to choose from these two ridiculous plans that you have no idea what you're choosing from. They forced you to go to one place, and then if that doctor is like, oh, well, you need to see a specialist, they won't even approve you to go see that specialist, even if the doctor is saying you need to go to a specialist. So it's not healthcare. It's like,
yeah,
it's ridiculous.
James, I would like to add that my buddy, you know, he's a disabled veteran too, and he was telling me about the Trump Choice Program. So basically, up in Idaho, where I'm going, I'll be able to check in at the VA, go into emergency, and after that, I can select my own doctor. You know, kind of like a PPO. So Trump passed that.
That's exactly why I'm moving to a red state, because I literally can't take it. I wouldn't consider myself like a Republican or anything, but the older I get, the more I see that the reason why people have got so liberal and so like they've literally been spoiled by conservative the things that conservative values have built up. So when I was young, you know, I'll be honest with you, I only voted for I think I voted for Gore when I was younger, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not. I never have considered myself.
No, I'll be honest with you, I only voted for I think I voted for.
There. What's up?
Hey, James.
Who's that?
It's Jamie, Greyhawk following Christ.
What's up, Greyhawk?
Not much, brother.
Hey, cheers, Greyhawk. This is Skeeto.
Hey, Skeeto. Nice to talk to all of you.
Ah, thanks for joining in, man. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Everybody, we all should probably try to get down on our knees and pray for I Do All as much as we can. He stated in the chat that hospice was called in for him, so for severe Crohn's disease. So
I need to say something about. I honestly think that they are. This is an intentional thing, and if you've noticed, if you just listen to people like me, I've been having my like nasal has been like stuffed, and it's just like this ongoing thing. And I think that I don't know whether I think it might be a combination of things. I definitely think the chemtrails are what it does is it makes you more susceptible to what you're already susceptible because it lowers your immunity. And then also I think this, I don't know what's going on, but the thing that's going on with like this energy that's coming into our planet or something, I mean, it's really doing a number. I mean, the UV index is off the chart.
oh my gosh, it's very hot, very hot.
So hot. I have to have 4 fans in my room just to make it so I literally constantly. It's so damn hot.
Hey, James, I can tell you, you know, I didn't have allergies until I was 12. And this is kind of embarrassing, and I'm just going to tell everybody I don't care.
I
know most of you. No, I know most of you guys anyway, but you know, since I was 12 years old, I've had to use pretty like nasal spray, like Flonase, Afrin, stuff like that, like every day. Like even in the military, I had Afrin in my pocket because my sinuses were so congested I couldn't breathe, and it's all like after the vaccines. You know, so.
Well, definitely. Well, 100%. The vaccines. That's 100%. If you get a vaccine, expect to have your allergies increase. Like my mom gets a vaccine every year, and her allergies get worse and worse and worse. And then she's like, but she's like, you know, she's kind of conservative. Well, she is conservative like me, but she that's one thing that she's like adamant, almost like political on is. She's like proud of getting vaccines. Like, oh no, and I'm like, what the hell do you know what's in them? Like, what makes you so sure that like, what makes you so trusting of these people? You know,
is that your mom?
Yeah.
Tell her to look up, and I'm not even sure. I need to check on.
Oh,
this,
I've told her everything.
No,
I've printed her out things that
the YouTube
are actual.
Channel called Experimental Vaccines. Have any of you all heard of him?
Negative.
No.
He is awesome. Experimental Vaccines. I hope that his YouTube channel is still up. I would say they probably took him down, but he has links to every state, and he has. That's how I found out about the exemption forms for my kids for not having to get vaccines for school. So, I mean, he has basically every labeled, every vaccine on his website. I mean, this dude is on top of it. So if you all are not already subscribed, make sure you get onto Experimental Vaccines.
Okay, I was gonna say, as far as going on this thread, Paul Bigley was talking about just tonight. He was talking about how the Obamacare kiosks. He when he visited a Walmart, they're introducing facial scan technology. So when you walk in, they know your mood and they can tell if you're gonna, steal something or not, whatever.
Well, I noticed all the cameras that they put up. Like in my local Walmart, there are cameras everywhere.
Yeah,
like
that's because your face is getting scanned.
Yeah.
But the kiosks on the right side have a place to stick your hand and get chipped. And if you read the Obamacare bill, they changed it, but it was written in by 2013. They're going to use this company called Triple Square or Three Square Technology in Wisconsin, and they're using it. I think that's the company. That is a company, but I think that might be the company in Obamacare, and they're going to use it. They said that it was going to be mandated by 2013. Well, they weren't ready, so they moved up the date to December 31st, 2017. That they're going to have this mandated that if you're on Obamacare, you need to get RFID chipped. And I'm going like, well, good luck with that. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now you see how they're starting to fine. Well, look at what now they go, oh, well, if you don't want to get fined. And basically, I've had this happen where I've gone to jail for owing $20. And they said, oh, it's because of this. And so you will get thrown in jail.
For what?
It was for court fees, some BS. But I'm saying that they'll literally you will get locked up. I guarantee this will happen where because it's all within the government, whatever, it's all taxation, IRS now.
Yeah, that's how they find out if you have health care or not.
And that's how they're going to get you. And by the way, one of the first things when I finally got this whatever care insurance, they asked me when I went in for an ear infection, they asked me if I owned any guns and where in the house I was keeping them. And I was like, I'll walk out of this doctor's office right now. You can go ahead and click off whatever the hell you're on right now on your computer because I do not feel comfortable with this. And the lady tried to make me feel better. And I was like, no, that's all good. I'm here for an ear infection. I don't know what the hell that has anything to do with it. And she's like, so you declined to answer? And I'm like, she's going to put that in the computer. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
So they're going to, so they threaten you with fines. And then think about it. They want to implement this RFID and you have to be mandated. If you're on Obamacare, it has to be. So I'm just thinking, what is that going to look like? Oh, well, they're going to, what? When you go in for care, they're going to go, oh, well, we need to slip this to you, or is it going to be in the shots? Or, because I don't think people are going to willingly be like, yeah, just put that microchip in me.
Well, they're making them so small now to where they can put just like a nanoparticle. They can put them in our food and everything without us even knowing. They can put it in the water for crying out loud.
But it's not. It's going to be the way that the mark of the beast in the Bible says. It's going to be you knowingly take it.
Right.
So I know we're all full. We're all full with nanoparticle. We're all filled with nano shit. I mean, to the hilt. And I believe that's what is causing a lot of these injuries and health problems and all this stuff. That is beyond, because it's.
Then again, the Bible states that in the end days, the poisons of this earth will no longer harm us. So, it's
and it also says a grievous wound. It also says that they will cause. So I was thinking maybe like the chips, they go with the company that they wanted cheap, 7 billion of them or whatever, and they start doing something inside and people start getting they're like, oh, my Obamacare RFID thing is getting infected or whatever. That's what Paul Begley was talking about. And it's so crazy because 10 years ago, I would never have thought what I was reading in the Bible would actually be playing out. And you know how you read in the Bible the prophecies, and then as they're coming true, they're happening not as you thought, but they're happening all the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, James. I can tell you the same thing, buddy. It's kind of crazy, man.
Crazy.
I didn't believe it, but now that we see all these things unfolding, it's
fast.
It's going
fast.
Yeah, it's going
so fast. It's actually way faster than I thought.
And the increase in technology.
Now, even people are just like lackadaisical on the fact that we have an open coup going on in America right now with the New World Order. Basically, you have 20 TV executives in Hollywood that decide they're going to overthrow the will of the United States people. That should infuriate every single military person I mean, because they've fought, they've shed blood, they've died, they've done all this, and
like,
they're
James, let me give you a different okay, so me being ex-military, right? Dude, the anthrax vaccine, it's 6 different shots. 6 different vaccines all spaced out. And then you get smallpox, you get the MMR, hepatitis vaccines, like all kinds of vaccines, dude. So I think a lot of the military people are, when they get out, dude, they're dumbed down and they lose their ability to be fighters, you know, and stand up for the country. Yeah, brother.
Wow.
Well, not only that,
Yeah.
a lot of them are coming back with post-traumatic stress disorder. Well, the first thing they do is they're putting them on Ambien, which is a psycho drug that is really damaging people.
And it dulls you out. One of those pills dulls you out. All you have to do is just stop taking the pills that they're giving you and give it a couple weeks and you're back to normal. I mean, literally one Ambien will affect you for 3 days and you're supposed to take it every night.
Right. And
that's
I know
all it is.
people
It's basically a dose to just, so you don't uprise.
Yeah, I know people that have committed suicide on it. And I know a lot of the veterans that are my friends, they'll go to the VA, they'll get their medicine, they throw it in a drawer, they grab a beer, and that's their medicine. They use that as a control because they're scared of what they're getting. They have no idea what they're taking. They're seeing all their friends being, committing suicide. They're catching on to this also.
Yeah, but also in that inside the pills, what they have done is they have introduced an ingredient. It's like a probably patented whatever, just as a molecule, and it basically excites your brain to where you're addicted like heroin, but it doesn't give you like the heroin like feeling, like Effexor and Prozac and all this shit. Your brain is literally addicted to it, so you don't know why you're taking it. You go, I don't know if this helps or not, whatever. Your brain is addicted to it. They've introduced it to where you don't think it's doing much or whatever. You just take it. You're exactly right. And my girlfriend tried to get off Prozac, and I witnessed firsthand something so scary. I mean, it was a shift in like she would cry and laugh and be up and be down, and it was just like a really crazy thing. And I was like, this is because of Prozac?
Like restless leg syndrome times 100.
It's real.
Yeah, Prozac is extremely hard to get off of.
I tried to get off my Zoloft.
I took trazodone for 10 years to sleep. From 2004 to 2014, I was taking trazodone every night.
That's some jail shit.
And then I took Vicodin, hydrocodone for pain. And then, when I stopped taking that stuff, it's like all those repressed memories and all the pain it comes, like it's stuff you didn't have to experience. It just comes at you like full speed ahead,
And
okay.
It's because you were dull.
That are uncontrollable at that point. And if you go back to the Ambien, if you really go in and start researching Ambien, there are people that will get up, get dressed, go to work at 2 o'clock in the morning, and just did it.
I took Ambien too, man. I took Ambien for a long time, and I got it from the VA.
Yeah, they give it to you before you get off the plane. In some cases, when you're coming back, they'll start you out there. I know of people that of that were returning. It was their, on they were getting out. That was the first thing they did before they got off the plane was gave them Ambien. And
Dude, and they also gave me Paxil, man. Like when I got in my accident, yeah, I was as soon as I became conscious and they transferred me from German ICU to the Army ICU in Würzburg, Germany, back in 2002. Yeah, they gave me Paxil. They're like, "Oh, you're depressed. You need Paxil."
And you wonder why we're losing so many veterans every day.
Well,
Right.
it's strictly the drugs. I mean, people. I understand PTSD. I had it when I got shot. It's a real damn thing. Like it really, it was a whole
It's
thing.
very real.
It's very real. But the introduction to these drugs, I don't think they make you better. They make you worse.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree, dude. I totally agree. It makes you worse, man.
I believe soullessly relying on God, you will be all right. He'll take care of you. But when you interact these psychosomatic drugs and it
cuts the connection off from God.
You're right. It's a
You
switch.
want to know what sucks though is when you have a autoimmune disease that is incurable, like myself, and you know you're not going to get any better. You're just going to get worse. So
you don't want to put that in your head, though.
But it's the fact. It's the fact of the matter. It's the truth.
Yeah. I have nerve damage from head to toe. I have peripheral neuropathy.
Phenol neuropathy. That's what I have as well. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So my biggest problem is in my calves and my thighs. It's what wears me out the most throughout the day. But around the early 2000s, I was going to work, and I could see the chemtrails. I've been, following this since back in the 90s, and I went under where they were spraying, and I could taste it. For 2 weeks after that, I was deathly ill. My brother and 4 of my friends were all in the same exact area at the same time. We're all medically disabled now.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. I just put in the chat. It's like my calves are hurting too, man.
And my feet and calves have just started. The nerve damage has started hitting them as well. But yet, when my doctor checks my circulation in my feet, he says it's perfect. So it has to be
I have had some battles with some neurologists that nobody wanted to even see. I had one that put me on, and I can't even remember the name of the drug, but it absolutely nuts. My mind was running in a million different directions at one time.
Neurotin?
I take Neurotin. I have to take
amitriptyline?
No, this
I know amitriptyline it started with an A. Amitriptyline made me feel like I was like I had brain zaps. Like kept hearing like snaps, like loud. I can't even, if you all know what brain snaps are, brain zaps or whatever they're called, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Well, I think this one started with an S, but I woke up one morning and I knew I had to get up to go to work. I knew I had to get up and go and use the bathroom, and I kept laying there. And finally, it just dawned on me, "Amy, you got to put your foot on the floor." And so I put my left foot on the floor, and then I said, I got to put my right foot on the floor. So I got my right foot on the floor. I finally made it to the restroom, and I realized what had happened at that time. And I'm very conscientious of anything I take. They put me on different pain pills. I've refused to take them because the way they affect me. Lortabs make me depressed. I mean, I know within a few days how a medicine will affect me, and you have to take that approach anytime you go on any type of a medicine like that. You have to know your body. You have to know yourself. You have to be conscious and keep a journal. I mean, I kept a journal for a long period while I was having migraines, and that journal I took to my doctors, which I went to school with a lot of them, so it was a close relationship. But I finally walked in and said, "Hey, look, y'all been treating me for sinus problems for 20 years." I said, "I have migraines." So all 5 of y'all in this office right now, and they did. They came in there, brought a medical journal. They sat down, asked me a few questions, said, "Oh, you have vascular migraines. Here, take this." My whole life changed. They had me on prednisone for 3 years. I had gained over 300 pounds. I was well over 300 pounds.
You were on
7
prednisone
months.
for 3 years, bro.
Wow. I'm
7
surprised you're not
months.
diabetic.
That's a
Within
steroid.
Yeah.
Prednisone is a steroid. You're
Yeah.
only supposed to.
Right.
I've taken it. I've taken it a few times for a sinus infection.
Right.
So
That's what they were giving it to me for, was sinus infection.
Yeah, but they gave it to me.
7
It's
months
like,
of me getting off of that and them getting my headaches taken away. I had lost 75 pounds. I was running 8 miles a day and up until the point that the neuropathy hit me. And
you can't stay on prednisone like that. That's
no, but that's what they were doing to me. They were, "Oh, you have tension headaches, you have sinus problems." I went through sinus surgery. I mean, this whole ordeal come down to me finally getting online and diagnosing myself and going in and saying, "This is what you're going to do." And when I come to the doctors now, I tell them, "Hey, look, I'm coming in. I'm hiring you. I will fire you if you're not going to perform the way that I want you to."
These doctors are scumbags, man.
Well, these doctors were doctors that, like I said, these guys were guys I went to school with. I knew, but they were just totally misdiagnosing me. It's like they said, we don't have a lot of male patients come in with migraines. Women come in.
I know, but it's your body, and when you come in and tell them the symptoms and the effects, and you do, you've done your own research, they should listen to you.
Well, when I did my own research and I went in there with it, they did listen to me. But up until that point, they just said, "Okay, your head's hurting, your shoulders are hurting, you got tension headaches."
Let me say something real quick. I'm going to say this, and then I think Brianna wants to jump in here. But a friend of mine recently, my best friend Brooke, her husband, he's an older gentleman, older than me. He's around, I think, 56, something like that. But for a rash on his skin now, listen to this. He had a rash. They put him on the oral prednisone for a month and a half, which should have been a topical cream. He's also ex-military, okay? Should have been a topical steroid, not an oral. He is now type 2 diabetic. He was having blood sugars in the 700s because of that steroid. Now he just got out of the hospital for diverticulitis. So those steroids will take all of the good stuff out of you. I think just like antibiotics take the good bacteria out of you. So, I mean, that's something to think about. If you all can refrain from taking any type of steroids, like me, it makes my blood sugars high. I would refrain from taking that. Brianna, did you want to say something?
Yeah, one of the things now for me, now I'm in a chair after a multiple surgeries, couple car accidents, and whatnot. I also rely on affectionately known as a gallon-size bag of medications throughout the day. And I, like you, I rely on a derivative of morphine called Dilaudid. And anybody that is very familiar with it, they do know a lot of people that deal with severe chronic type issues. And the disease that I deal with, it is an autoimmune disease in that classification, sometimes called chronic regional pain, but its root origin is called RSD. And one of the biggest things is that 90% of these emergency rooms today are not equipped to deal with majority of the problems. One of the biggest things that I'm finding in the last couple of months, spirituality does get you through a lot. Do I agree that the pharmaceutical companies want to keep us pinned into a lot of these extreme medications, whether you're a veteran, you're the daughter of a veteran? Yeah, they do. They want to keep you connected to that line. I do agree with that. Sometimes they will use you as a guinea pig. I've been a victim of this. I've seen this all too often. I've been dealing with this disease for going on 22 years now. And one of the biggest things that I'm finding is the more activity that a person can do, a lot of times the better off they can be. But there are a lot of times, even for me, and it's very rare to catch me up at this hour of the night because my day started at 4 o'clock this morning. So it's very rare to catch me up at this hour of the night. But one of the biggest things is that making sure that your doctors are very clear in knowing that they work for you. You don't work for them. And patient advocacy is something that you don't hear a lot about. And nobody wants to step up and take control and step up on behalf of the patients because the patients are afraid that the doctors are going to cut them off of their medications. And anymore, it's like if you don't do what the doctors tell you to do, they're just simply going to take your meds away, and then you're going to be left with a life of complete and total misery.
That's pretty much what's happened. I went from making great money, tech companies, and driving a BMW to basically being stuck in a bed on an ice pack and helping myself with wine just to like numb the pain. It's that bad.
Well, I asked my doctor.
So I know.
Yeah, I asked my doctor. And I asked him. I said, if something was to happen to our economy and I couldn't get my medicine, I said, what do you recommend for me for pain? He said, move to Colorado. He said, there ain't no reason why you ain't growing a patch behind your house right now instead of paying all this money. He said, that's the only thing that's going to help you.
That's true, too.
He was straightforward with me. He said, you need to get prepared for that and to have the ability to get your hands on it. And
you wouldn't believe weed, especially the kinds that are for medicinal use, because there's different kinds, and you don't have to usually with pain you don't want to smoke it, you want to have it edibles. But and what's amazing and what I'm scared is that George Soros is invested in the GMO seeds and all that, but that's a different subject. But the actually ingesting the medical cannabis turns you off to a lot of, if not all, the pharmaceuticals, which is why a lot of the pharmaceutical companies do not want that, because for some, I don't know what it does, but it opens you out where you're like, oh, I don't need that that thing. And also another thing, a good sign of a good doctor, like when I always had Blue Cross, I always had the best of doctors. They would be very hesitant to write me any prescription, unless it was necessary. If a doctor's really quick to write you a prescription, he's not that good of a doctor.
Yeah.
Agreed, James. Agreed. Totally.
Like they should first start you out. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say for myself, I had, several years in background in law enforcement. So for me to make that conversion over to marijuana.
Well, that's a big thing. That's a big thing, especially I find it with a lot of like Republican types, conservative types that may not be from California. There's an ingrainment that like marijuana is this like evil thing, and it's only for bad. Like Jeff Sessions, I can't believe Jeff Sessions. I am so disappointed in Jeff Sessions. I can't tell you. But I mean, it's like we have all this lawlessness going around, and he wants to, start upping the ante with taking people's stuff. What is it called when the damn government just takes all your damn stuff? I forget the criminal asset forfeiture. He wants to go with criminal asset forfeiture and going against the weed. While we have all this lawlessness going on, it's incredible. But that you're right, and I've heard Judge Sessions say, "Good people don't smoke marijuana," and it's like, and first of all, it's a misnomer, because usually, if you're using marijuana for pain or different things like seizures and stuff like that, usually it's edibles, stuff like that, because you're just going to find it works better. But
we don't have that in Mississippi. I can't get that. It's not been passed. But anything that you use for pain, if you're actually in pain and you take a correct amount of pain medicine, it's not going to alter your mind. It's going to go and affect the area that it was directed to. Found with taking pain medicine is, when I'm on the right one, which everybody's body is different. You got to find what's right for you. But when I take it, I have the only thing that I feel is better because I'm not in pain anymore. And that's
because you're in chronic pain, and the pain medication, your brain knows that you are actually hurting. You don't get euphoria or a buzz from it because it takes away the pain and you feel normal. Well, not normal. I don't remember what normal feels like, but you no longer are concentrating on that ache. You know what I'm saying?
You can function, and like makes you able to function.
Exactly.
I was able to get 2 college degrees, go to the gym. I got a master's in business. I got an MBA. I was driving a BMW, working at a tech company, and I was on these pain medications. When I came off of them, like everything started to fall apart. Everything.
I tell you what, when the shit does hit the fan, though, and we do have to go off, start storing your medicine. If you have any extras, during the month, just store it back. And, that way you can wean yourself off of it when the time comes. But we will all be in prayer, and by the grace of God, He will make sure that we are okay.
Well, He says He will strengthen us and will take away our ailments and more or less make us younger during that time, healing our bodies. And I have to believe in that, because without it right now, I would just be in bed and in pain. But
that's another thing. You do not want to have a sick mind. If you do have some sort of ailment, I have a little thing that bothers me, whatnot, but I do not want to put it in my mind that anything is wrong, because there is something to thinking that something's wrong with you, and it leads to it actually being physical. So
I agree.
Without a doubt, if you give up, you have lost. Right. I wake up every morning and I see the sun and I'm happy, and no matter what I go throughout that day, what happens through that day, I'm happy. I'm blessed. And
you know what I think when I'm in pain, when I'm hurting, I think there's nothing in this world that anybody can go through that is comparable to Christ on the cross.
No, none at all.
So
Yeah.
sometimes I even feel bad for even, asking for God to take away the pain when the medicine doesn't work. But like when I get my tension headaches, now those are caused from the nerve damage in my neck, my C3, 4, and 5. And then when my blood sugar drops to a really bad low, I'll get the same headache, and the doctors can't figure out why. They have no idea why when my blood sugar drops, I'll get these migraines. Well, they call them severe. It's more than a migraine. But then like my bursitis acts up in my shoulders. Like sometimes it'll hurt so bad in my shoulder and I'll go check my sugar and my sugar will be 50, but I can tell that my sugar's dropping because the pain's so bad in my shoulders and the doctors can't put two and two together. But I told them, I said, it's my nerves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
definitely nerves.
as far as myself, I'm truly blessed. Who was in the same area when that happened? By the age of 37, he had to have a pacemaker put in. He has had multiple surgeries. He had a stroke. He was lieutenant over patrol of a very large sheriff department. Had a stroke, so it messed his right eye up. He can't work anymore. He can't drive. So when I look at him and I know, hey, look, I can still get up, go get in the car, go help him out in any way. I know I'm blessed. Even though I deal with pain every day, it's to me, hey, it's no big deal.
Yeah, any of us that wake up, every one of us that wake up each day are blessed. And we just need to get that in our heads. But the thing is,
Yeah.
James, like what you were saying,
We're way over.
James. Oh, yeah, exactly. But
Well, I
like,
mean, in the U.S.
Right. And I know what you said a while ago as far as, thinking you're sick has a lot to do with how you feel each day. And I totally 100% agree because you can tell yourself, I feel great, and you'll automatically start to feel good. It's mind over body. Now, as far as like what I have and what Jamie has and what, Brianna has and what Skeeto has, we all have legitimate conditions to where we do need the medication. I have freaking mounds of doctor reports, and I'm actually disabled by the state. It's very hard to get disability these days. So, I mean, you're not gonna. And now, doctors do put people on medicine that don't need it because that's a lot of the problem why it's so hard to get medication these days because people abuse the system. But,
Yeah.
Just like welfare, there's people that need welfare that cannot get it because they make so much over the amount. I could have really used help when I was on maternity leave with my daughter. But because we made so much a year, that was with me working, but they didn't take into the fact that, hey, I'm going to be off work for 6 weeks. It didn't matter that I could not get any help whatsoever.
And see, I can't get on disability because the state does, or the federal government does not recognize neuropathy as a disability. I'm just left in the cold. Now, all the neurologists I went to,
I say forget the government. They just need to get off our back. It has nothing to do with them. So you know what I'm saying? Like I hate having the state even tied into my medical. They should just get the hell out of it. They should I know exactly why they want to stick their nose in it, and it's because of this new world order agenda. But everything was fine as far as when you just paid for your own damn insurance, you got insurance, and people act like there was no treatment for people that couldn't afford it. There was that. There was you could go in and they couldn't reject you from a hospital. So when people say, "Oh, I can't afford it," you could always go into a hospital. You might have to do a bill. They might charge you or stick you with a bill, but if you know about that, you don't even have to pay that.
Yeah, I don't have insurance. I don't have disability. I have very good friends that are doctors, and I have good friends that own a pharmacy. so I can pay for my medicine. And so I'm not tied in with anyone right now. And as long as all those things still stay in place, then I'm really lucky.
Well, that's how they're going to get you.
falters,
That's
yeah,
how they're going to get the people onto this new world order system. First, they're going to say, "Oh, well, we're going to tax you. We're going to basically implement this this fine if you don't get it. That way, you get you in the system." And then people are going to be so scared of losing their medication that they're going to go, "Oh, it's going to come down to people getting a damn chip to keep their medication." You mark my words. You mark my words. And people are going to be like,
you've got to have in your mind that, hey, it's going to happen to me. I have a tent. I have the ability. I'll disappear before I take it. And with the artificial intelligence coming up, with all that's going on with it, that scares me worse than going on in this world. Everybody.
Because we have no chance against it. We have no chance against it.
I don't know how to defeat a
artificial
robot.
intelligence, you have no chance against this artificial intelligence. As far as being the grid, they want to institutionalize all the cars. You're already tracked daily, and when they just say, "Oh, we're just gathering your metadata," your metadata can predict your actions.
Exactly.
Metadata is the most it's wanted information.
Oh yeah, it's being purchased every day. Oh, and freely given out by Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. They're sharing it freely with these AI companies. But I'm prepared to battle in any situation. I just don't know how to battle a robot yet.
we have those Google self-driving cars out here. I'm in Silicon Valley, so I live like 15, 20 minutes away from Google.
I have yet to see one, but
I live 5 minutes away from Apple, like the new campus.
They look very goofy.
Yeah, it looks like it has a radar dish on top of the car.
No, you know what it looks like? Have you ever seen the Batman with the Riddler and how he has that dish on top of his head that's green and that sucks all the information from everybody's TV? It looks exactly like one of those things on top of the car.
It's crazy, man. Like when you see one in person, it'll blow your mind. Because I was downtown Palo Alto working on a project for SAP, and I worked for them, a German software company, and yeah, they were driving those Google cars around, and I was just looking at them, blown away. Like, what's going on?
I wanted to ask you, James. James, what about how they're supposed to repeal and replace Obamacare with Trump Care or whatever they're going to call it, and we all know that the same person writes up all of these bills. So they said, here's what they said, you can't really believe a word any of them say anymore, but they said that they plan on replacing it within the next 3 to 6 months. Am I right?
That's their plan, but it'll never go through. Our Congress is not going to allow it.
Our Congress is traitors. We have a bunch of traitors, both on both sides. They're traitors, and the New World Order system. I probably, if I knew the real deal about each individual congressman, those are the first people targeted. Those are the first people up for blackmail. They're all the ones being monitored. So, but they got into this and they took a damn oath to protect our Constitution. But they are that's why they get people like Dennis Haster in there. They love pedophiles. They love people that they are easily blackmailable, because that's what this New World Order system is. It is threatening and it is bullying and it is basically blackmailing the entire world right now, incrementally.
You look at all the people that are being killed right now. I mean, Scalia being shot,
or killed, or they'll kill you. Yeah.
Yeah. they're knocking people off left and right.
Leah talked about basically pedophilia and the human trafficking, and they didn't like his tune. They didn't like his basically his line that he was going down. They didn't like his trajectory, and they said we're gonna send in. They have all kinds of ways that they could wind up people.
Question.
And it's always. I mean, but this is the part that I don't get. They could have sent in somebody that could have shot. I mean, personally, I think they wanted a person that wasn't good. They wanted it to be not so severe, or maybe he was a good shot, and that's why he only, or I mean, because also this guy has been in the hospital for a while, so it's like, what's going on? But I heard the way he was shooting was not. If he just aimed at all, and if he shot correctly, but also they had those police there, they had the police.
Yeah, the
that put down suppression fire.
Yeah. So
if they didn't have them put down suppression fire, there would have been a lot of people.
Yeah, the guy that they sent may have panicked. I mean, once you're getting fired at, everything changes in your head when bullets start flying around. So, but yeah, you're exactly right, and
and that's all they wanted is they just wanted a message.
Well,
so
that's why
the minutia of it, they might not have wanted him killed, and they're perfect puppet string pullers. So all the ways that you wind up people and all this stuff. But if you look at his steps and you retrace his steps, he was in operation mode for a couple months. They had him out there. He had it sounded like it was hoopty because he had it written down in his thing. It didn't seem military. I mean, it seemed like he was like the perfect patsy / wind-up toy.
Yeah, that's why they have machine guns. Machine guns are meant for suppressive fire, right? So you're laying down.
Yeah, but he was shooting from the hip. If he shot correctly, he would have at least killed some. I mean, he was purposely just like almost shooting horribly.
Because I was a saw gunner, it's a M249, like fully automatic machine gun, in the Army, and I would shoulder fire that thing, basically drop to a knee and aim at your target and just, do small bursts.
You lay a line of fire down, and
you just want a couple bursts.
You want those bursts, like 3, 4, 5 round bursts, like da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. You don't want to like blow your whole mag,
exactly.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, that's just one case. I mean, who was it? The lawyer that turned up, in the ocean down there in Florida. I mean,
there's
it's
all
just
kinds of people.
They're coming up. Judge Scalia, when they killed Judge Scalia, that was the telltale sign that they were scared. They knew something was fixing to come down. Trump was fixing to.
But they're not all powerful, even though they are very powerful. If you look, our founding fathers put into a structure that has given them a run for their money. Because if it wasn't for the USA, we'd all be under this new world order already.
That's right.
So we are saving right now. We're saving the world from it coming under. USA is the number one thing that is stopping it right now.
Well, James, I mean, look at the Chester Bennington thing and Chris Cornell being related to John Podesta, right?
Yeah, what's up with that? Give us a rundown on that.
I've heard that Chester Bennington is like the bastard child of John Podesta.
And who's Chester Bennington?
He's the singer for Linkin Park, the guy that just died. That they said
that's right.
Yeah, and he was going to speak out on the child pedophilia thing because he was raped as a boy. So he was going to speak out on it after Chris.
Oh no! If you're ritually abused, you don't speak out. They'll kill you.
Yeah, well, he got star whacked the same way as Chris Cornell, dude. He got hung in a bathroom.
Exactly.
And a telltale sign is they say, "Oh, it's suicide."
No, supposedly,
Of them pedestrian side by side is unreal.
oh yeah.
Wait,
yeah,
let's
Chester
get one of those. Let me get a screen share and let's look
Yeah,
that up.
do a screen share
Yeah.
on that Chester Bennington thing, man, because you
Okay,
can see
listen, while
you
he's
can
pulling
see how
that up.
identical they look.
Who was it that did the video today on that and had them side by side?
Yeah, I can't remember who. I've seen quite a few of them, but supposedly Chris Cornell found a black book with a list of elite pedophiles in it in, I'm sure, Hollywood. You know, who knows if it was Hollywood, if it was people in the judicial system, whatever. But him and him and Chester Benningfield were best friends. And supposedly, I'm not sure how true this is. Don't take my 100% word on this. Always do your research, but this is what I heard. That Chris Cornell was getting ready to come public with this. He shared the information with Chester. And in May, Chris Cornell, of course, was found hung in his hotel room. And then on Chris Cornell's birthday, Chester Benningfield also hung himself at home. But they stated that Chester was getting ready to come out with this information as well.
Yeah,
As far as the black book. So
yeah, I believe he had a copy of it, and he was fixing to put it out.
And I heard that he had just found out, Chester had just found out that John Podesta was his father. So, I mean, you look at the resemblance. Let me stop sharing my screen, James. I'm sorry. You look at the resemblance, and I mean, it's just wow.
It's that blew me away when I saw that.
Yeah, they look exactly alike. It looks like his kid, you know. So it's kind of like, you know, there's something going on. There's definitely some star whacking going on, you know, for sure.
That first picture, yeah, it's crazy.
It's sad, you know, because today I watched a couple of the last interviews that Chester Bennington gave, and man, the guy was like really trying to reach out and help people get help for himself, and trying to do the right thing, you know. But he was too far in.
Well, he also, here's what I heard. He was raped when he was 7, Chester Bennington.
Yeah.
I kept saying Benningfield, I'm sorry. Chester Bennington was raped when he was 7 years old by a family friend. Now, who's to say that this family friend was his father the whole time and his mom didn't relay that information to him? What if John Podesta, you know, is his father and was the family friend that actually raped him?
Right.
And
I mean,
just
he
found
knows,
out
he
that
knows
John
about the whole
Podesta was his
network.
father. So, you know, who knows? And look at the Lincoln Park logo. It looks like the little boy, the FBI little boy logo.
Can you pull that up? Like,
Yeah,
put it on.
it's pulled up. Yeah, James has got it right there.
All right. Yeah, it does.
Yep.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, right there. Look at that.
I never noticed that. It just reminds me of Macaulay Culkin, like in his pizza band, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
He did
That
his little,
is
like,
absolutely crazy.
he did his pizza band before Pizzagate was even exposed.
And look
Just-
right there. They actually campaigned and did concerts for the Clintons. Look at that. Lincoln
Oh,
Park.
look at this. Look at this tweet that was from Chester Bennington. I don't want to. Damn it. Look at this tweet from Chester Bennington. Says Donald Trump is a greater threat to the United States than terrorism. Trump is a greater threat to the USA than terrorists. Vote today and keep America great. Hillary for president. Trump is a greater threat to the USA than terrorism. We have to take back our voices and stand for what we believe in.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe Chester changed his mind on that right before the end. There was a few things that came out, a few tweets that kind of changed, but yeah, he was definitely involved in, Hollywood or the music industry. He was corrupted by it, but I believe he was trying to reach out in the end. Both of them were.
Well, they consider that turning your back, turning your back on them. So they probably found out.
At that point, he's already taken an oath. So what they want you to do is that's why they wanted me to get involved with their sect and their temple. And they said, oh, we just need you to take a blood oath. That way they have control over you. That way, when you speak out or you say something, then you're breaking an oath, and then they have the right to do with you what they will, because it's nothing. Lucifer's world, Satan's world, is nothing but slaves.
Exactly, James. That's exactly what it is, man. Like, once you take that oath, then you can't break it, dude. Like, your entire life is on the line. So,
but I think you could break it between you and God, but as far as they're concerned, they end up killing you because that's what you signed your contract for. Now, we're talking about James. Did you see that link that I sent you as far as the John Benet Ramsey case linked to? They actually found what was his name? He used to work for InfoWars. Dean, is that his name?
I can't remember his name, but I read the article.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, there's a deathbed confession of a judge, a high-ranking judge, that stated that he knows who killed John Benet Ramsey, and that the Christmas party that they had went to was full of elite pedophiles. And the night before, it was 2 days before or the night before she died, it was the father.
It's the satanic cult.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, like spirit cooking. It was the father and 6 or 7 other high-ranking government people that actually penetrated John Benet, and I'm sure something probably happened in between that and the time that she died. But he basically stated names and people in his deathbed confession.
And
right there,
from my understanding, there was no intention of killing her, is what they were claiming.
Well, you have a little 6-year-old and 7 grown men penetrate her. I mean, and the coroner stated that she did have sexual abuse. That it had been a long time form of sexual abuse, but she could tell.
I mean, Kay, that's like me being military, ex-military. That's the only time I'm gonna get. That's when I would get violent. If I saw somebody hurting a kid or doing something like that, then you better believe that there's going to be gunshots or something going on. Because
yeah, my husband's the same way.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This is you don't have to look any further than this. This is a little girl. She's painted up like a whore.
Right.
Her family was for this. Like they showboated her around. Like, look at this. Have you ever seen one of these pageants? They'll make you sick to your stomach.
I have, dude. It makes me
these
sick.
Parents these parents were involved in this satanic cult. This new information that's Benet, it's nothing more than putting a a finger on one person that's
Yes.
already in jail.
Guess who also
It's,
was
covering
involved
up
that
for
night
the
with
satanic
John
ring.
Bonet? Guess who also was involved? Shapiro. The attorney Shapiro was involved. And lo and behold, as soon as that detective that was inside the house and said, let's search this house top to bottom, the dad automatically goes to the basement. And what does he do? He corrupts and contaminates the crime scene by picking her up and then wanting to place a blanket over top of her. And I'm sure Dave Shapiro had something to do with that. You know, hey, here's a little hint here. Go ahead and contaminate the crime scene.
Okay, and we know that the Shapiros and the Kardashians are connected, right? So reality
Right.
TV and
Exactly.
OJ Simpson, it's all connected, all of it.
But that judge listed Shapiro as one of the ones that was involved in the penetration. So
John Benet Ramsey's hand.
It's so tiny. Look how small her hand is. You could tell it's a kid.
wow. They said that
Right here.
the on her head, like when they peeled back her scalp, the contusion, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the bruising on her brain was the full length of her head, so a full 8 inches.
That's a contusion. I had a brain contusion in my Army accident. So
And
yeah,
supposedly she was hit with a metal pipe.
yeah.
steel
So
pipe.
like that would be blunt force trauma.
Right. And strangled.
Yeah. Oh man.
And something about her father, just the look in his eyes. And I don't know if you all feel the same, but he looks so familiar. Like, I know this case was like in the 90s, late 90s. I know this case was like everywhere, but I don't know. It's almost like her father looks like somebody in Hollywood or like somebody that you've seen before other than this case. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know, but her dad looks like it's like I've seen him somewhere else before.
It could be like I need to pay more attention to it. It could be.
Mike could run a facial recognition on him.
Oh, and the detective said
He looks
that
like
when-
that guy. He looks like that guy from the news that just
Yeah.
quit Fox. What's his
Yeah.
name?
if you had to
Riley. I was
ask-
thinking the
Bill,
same.
Yeah.
Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly. Maybe that's who I'm thinking. Yeah. Yeah, he resembles Bill O'Reilly. Good one.
He sure does.
But the detective said there was an interview that was done a couple years back, I think 2013. She said that when she first entered the residence, the interviewer was like, "How did he act?" And she said, "Cordial. Like, your daughter is missing. Okay, it's Christmas Day or the day after Christmas. Your daughter is missing, and you're gonna act cordial. You're not gonna act upset." And she said, "Yeah, he was just cordial." And then, you know, the fact that he was looking through his mail, you know, not upset, you know, and then so the ransom note, and you all probably already know this, but you know, a lot of this just it just blows my mind. But the ransom note said, we will call between 8 and 10 to make sure you all have the ransom money, you know, the same amount that his bonus was for 1996. Okay. 118,000. And 10 o'clock came and went and nobody said anything. It was almost like they knew, because they knew who wrote it. They weren't worried about the 10 o'clock deadline.
Mm.
Listen carefully.
And you can tell, yeah, you can tell on that actual ransom note that somebody was trying to you look how shaky it is, like they were trying to write other than what they weren't supposed to. and
Or they
misspell
just
words
put
and
that
stuff.
they just they're right-handed and they put it in their left hand.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Something like that to mess up their handwriting. But
exactly.
We are a group
Yeah.
of individuals that represent a small foreign faction. We respect your business, but not the country that it serves. At this time, we have your daughter in our possession. She is safe and unharmed, and if you want her to see 1997, you must follow our instructions to the letter. You will withdraw $118,000 from your account. $100,000 will be in $100 bills, and the remaining, see, it's just stupid. Like, they wouldn't say that. Why would you have it in hundreds? You'd have it in small bills. And the remaining $18,000 in $20 bills. Make sure that you bring an adequate size attaché to the bank. When you get home, you will put the money in a brown paper bag. I will call you between, now that says I thought it was a faction of people. I will call you between 8 and 10 a.m. tomorrow to instruct you on delivery. The delivery will be exhausting, so I advise you to be rested. If we monitor you getting the money early, we might call you early to arrange an early delivery of the money.
Now it's 3 pages.
dude, this
And that was a red flag as well. You know, they kind of went
makes me think
overboard
of
with that.
Sicario, like the movie. Have you seen Sicario?
No.
The movie? Okay, so Benicio del Toro is the main actor in that movie, and he's basically a hitman working for the CIA. And there's a Delta Force, FBI, CIA operation going on in Mexico with this hitman, and there's all kinds of shenanigans, and they basically use the FBI agents as collateral to justify the operation. So at the end of the movie, the FBI agents find out that they got used by Delta Force and the CIA to do this drug running operation from Mexico to California, and a lot of people died, and there was a lot of crazy stuff. So it's a good movie.
Well, that goes back to the deal out in Oregon. You know, the guys that did that operation when they killed, I can't remember his name now. Those guys were military.
Oh yeah,
those weren't cops. That was a perfect setup, and I know you've trained for exactly that in the military.
Yeah, I know what to look for. I can see it. You know, I know.
I mean, there was a big call out, and you know, I had people calling me, wanting me to go. And when I look at it, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, you're going out there to protect somebody's land, but yet you're going to take over a federal building.
Who are you talking about?
The out in Oregon,
the Bundys or whatever.
The Bundys. Yes. That whole thing was a setup. It was not run by the FBI. It was not run by, it would have been CIA military operatives that were involved in that.
You think?
Dude, they're not going to send out like stupid people. They're going to send out Delta. They're going to send out Army Rangers. They're going to send out people who actually know how to gunfight. Like, there's no way you're going to beat them. I mean, if me being ex-military, that's what I would do. It's
you take 2 Army Rangers and you can take out that whole group.
Yeah. it's pretty obvious.
I hear people all the time, oh, I've hunted all my life. You know, I know I've lived in the woods. I've hunted too all my life. I started when I was 5. But I've come home many a time and never fired my gun. You know, just because you know how to go out and shoot a gun doesn't mean you know how to survive.
That's
Same
right.
thing goes for just because you know how to shoot a gun doesn't mean you know how to defend yourself against someone. One person, they drop off out of an airplane and he goes in and takes out however many people they tell him to. Delta, Delta or the Rangers or the SEALs normally work in team, but when you go into the Rangers or Delta Force, they don't need anybody else. You drop one person off, they get the job done.
Well, that's exactly what I think is going on with. If you guys remember this story, 15 Marines, 1 Navy.
Yep. That happened about 80 miles from me when it occurred.
Oh, I don't think
And,
I don't think these gentlemen are dead.
I don't know. You know, because
That would be a perfect cover up if these guys were going deep cover into, say, somewhere like North Korea. You would have something like this, just so it would be like they're already dead.
Well, I have a buddy of mine that went into North Korea. He was special forces. He was working with the CIA. They went in under guise of tractor salesman, and he said all the places he had ever been, that was the scariest place he'd ever encountered. 2 of them like to got beat to death, and they finally got out and got on a plane and got the hell out of there. But you know, it's North Korea is an unknown. You know, and I believe you're the one, James, that compared it to Antarctica the other day. Nobody really knows what goes on in North Korea.
That's how they want it too.
Dennis Rodman does.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman is cool, man. I mean, you know, he is our ambassador. And Trump seeking to shut him down too.
Well, that all seemed like very, very staged theater to me, to make it seem like, oh, even Dennis Rodman's going over there and this, that, and the other. And I mean, come on, I don't know. This seems like a setup. I don't know.
Yeah.
But as far as North Korea, I believe it's where the elites card, basically. You have look at all this equipment that all of a sudden they're getting. It seems like this. And by the way, Kim Jong-un has been out of the media for going on like 2 weeks now. But all of a sudden you see him getting pictures of all this. It looks like he's getting a whole bunch of imports. He's nothing more than their. You ever seen that movie Iron Man? Iron Man, I think it's Iron Man 3, where the guy here, hold on. The actor terrorist. This guy? I think that's what's going on with Kim Jong-un. Remember this guy in Iron Man?
Yeah, a lot of people think that, you know, Kim Jong-un grew up in, you know, an isolated lifestyle. He didn't. He went to school in Switzerland. He was he knows the world. You know, you have North Korea, South Korea, China, and Russia are all bordered together right there. And it is a focal point. It could be what sets the stage.
Sorry, I had to step away and clean out the puppy's cage, so I missed like the last 5 or so minutes.
No, Greyhawk was just talking. He just cut off.
Oh, okay.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. North Korea is a focal point, you know, because it borders with South Korea. Russia, and China. So if anything's going to set off a world stage, there are your world players right there.
Yeah, world players, but I mean, you have to understand that like the control system, it really goes back to Switzerland. You know, that's where the head of Freemasonry is. That's
Apollo.
Yeah, that's where the big Apollyon.
And that's where CERN is.
Yeah,
that's where the major nuclear missile is CERN. Switzerland.
Well, that's where the big dogs are. They're in Switzerland. I've been there. I've been to Switzerland.
And a couple of years ago, weren't all the people in Hollywood, like the elite, moving to Switzerland? Wasn't that a big thing?
They were moving to Canada and New Zealand.
Was it New Zealand? It might have been New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know, but I know that Switzerland is like one of the. No, that's the cream of the crop right there.
Yeah, everyone moving to New Zealand doesn't make any sense since they're sitting on a super volcano also. So, I never could figure that one out.
They're telling you they're moving to New Zealand, but it's all they're going either underground or to Antarctica or wherever. I mean, underneath us right now, there's a whole nother United States. There's a whole nother like world underground. There's all kinds of sections. I probably think there's the United Nations sections underground right now.
Yeah, who knows where the United Nations is? I mean, where exactly is it? Who exactly is it?
Antarctica.
They've never really explained it.
Well, I mean, just look at the map. I mean, seriously, if you look at the flat Earth map and you compare it to the United Nations map, you could see that 99% of the population is duped. I mean, we're not.
Antarctica circles the Earth.
Right. So I don't know what's at the center, but there's something there, and they're trying to hide that from the public.
We've been going through the last 2 years of booms, the sounds. Everybody's been here, and then Elon Musk comes out with, we're going to build this tunnel here. There's a huge tunnel system under us, and the thing is, we don't know the depth of it. Be a mile deep or greater, and I do believe there's cities underground.
Oh, it's 100%. It's
dude,
100%.
I worked for Tesla Motors. I walked by Elon Musk at work. So I had to quit because I knew what I was doing was wrong. So, I left that company. But yeah, I was working for Tesla and I saw Elon Musk a few times.
The underground.
Oh, you get really digging in on the truck drivers and all that are saying they can go underground in Washington and come out in Arizona. I mean, that's just incredible.
Yeah. And I mean, even further in, if you go even further in, this is what's amazing. You could go into these caverns that they have, and there's so much space that literally you could fly a plane underground. That's how much space there is.
Yeah.
You could fly a plane, which, I mean,
But James, that goes back to the Bible where these people think they're going to hide underground and avoid God. They think they're going to avoid God's wrath. I don't think so. It's not going to happen.
That's exactly what it goes to.
Yeah, you can build the biggest tunnels. You can fly planes into, have whole cities built underground. It doesn't matter.
See this right here? See, it doesn't quite go to where I'm at right here. I think they have a new one that this is where Elon Musk is talking about with his tunnels. He's nothing more than a front man for the military industrial, but it goes all the way to the beach cities where I'm at right here. And it's a pretty big deal because it seems like they stayed off the coast. You need to go almost to the middle of the state of California for the entrance That would be somewhere in the desert right there on your way into Nevada. That's on the 10, I believe. But I think there's now a connection, or they're building it. I think it's there already. But there might be like several connections now. But this one, I think, goes all the way west. It goes as far west as Inglewood, California.
Yeah, these things are all connected, James. I mean, there's a massive network of these tunnels.
Right, but but what I'm saying is see now how this one branches out on the this is Southern California. This is the one that I was probably talking about. But how they have a connector, and then this one goes all the way to the beach. I think that they these are the most recent as far as.
Okay.
Or there's maybe another one. Maybe it's a third one. So maybe this is one is going right here. This one's coming down here, and maybe because I know there's something going on. If you look right, I live right next to here. I got some footage the other day of going by it. It's right next to. Let's see. It's right next to the metro. It's right on top of the metro. It is right on top. I mean, literally on top of the railroad station. It is right on top of a airport.
So the sound is covered up, so you can't hear the sound because, right?
Let's just look at a map of.
Well, and you have access.
Right, you have access, and the sound is like it's covered up.
Well, there's constant things there for my whole life. There's always been. This it seems like it's been under construction for over 20 years. Map of SpaceX in Inglewood, California. It's Inglewood or Hawthorne? No, it's Hawthorne.
So here in a little bit, I would like to speak about what I have experienced in the past week and a half as far as the Federal Reserve and the strawman accounts. And where my video is, I have no idea. I did a video called Your Strawman, and it's gone. I guess YouTube deleted it, but it's nowhere to be found. And I already deleted it off my computer because I needed space on my computer. So
I did watch it. Okay, I watched it.
Yeah,
I did too.
But I do want to speak about that, and if you all don't mind.
So have they all been reversed, Kay?
I still have one payment of $2,900 that is still good and cleared. I linked my PayPal account to that account, and I canceled the link. Even though I canceled the link, PayPal has restricted my account indefinitely. I think I have $200 in my PayPal account from a deposit for a puppy that I cannot touch. They will not let me have it.
Wow.
Yeah. So even though I canceled it, and I have a verified bank account with my PayPal that I've had since 2012, it doesn't matter. I still tried to link it, and it went to the fraud department. I think PayPal's linked to the Federal Reserve. PayPal is not a bank. They are just a holding vault for money. And
right.
I don't understand how
they're
they
a third-party company.
Yeah. I don't understand how they can even tell me that they can hold my money. I can't even close my account, nothing. So there's $200 I probably never see, and it's just BS. But that account does exist. If this account did not exist, I worked in a bank for 6 years, okay? An ACH payment will not go through if the information does not match, meaning your name and the account number. The account number is your social security number. Your name is in all caps. The reason your name is in all caps is because we are a corporation that was opened at birth. When your parents signed your birth certificate, they unwillingly, unknowingly signed us over to the state. That's how, if you sign your children up for public school and they do not go, that's how the state can take your children away from you, because they basically own them. So people need to look more into the straw man account. I think there's a channel called Gary something. He's an older man. I'm not sure what his last name is, but he's actually, I need to find the video. He actually started a civil lawsuit against the Fed. So everybody needs to check into it. I'm not trying to give any legal advice here, but there are millions and billions of dollars that were opened in our name that has been gaining interest ever since we were born, and it's for debt only from what I've gathered. There's also a universal Fed routing number that is supposedly anybody can use, along with your social security number. On the back of your social security card, there is a letter. That letter links to one of the Federal Reserve banks. There's information out there. So I just wanted to give you all my take on it, what's been happening with me in the past week and a half. And, just research it. Yeah, we've been lied to. Of course, here's another big lie that we're just now finding out. But this is pretty daggone big. And I know the account works. I know.
Well, if you have one thing that it went through, hey, there's me. Yeah. Sorry, I got thrown off. This is my
all three payments went through. All three payments went through, but 2 of them reversed 4 days later. And what's kind of funny is I received 2 paper receipts in the mail for the 2 payments that reversed. I have transaction authorization numbers and everything. They showed me how much of the dollar amount went towards principal and how much went towards interest.
Oh no, you're 100% in the clear. What your mistake was linking it to the PayPal and having money in there.
Yeah, I
That's
understand.
the only way they could punish.
But listen. I hit cancel. When I go to my PayPal, it's not linked. PayPal is stating on their end that it is still showing as linked, and I'm like, I canceled it. How is that? Well, I was looking through PayPal's terms and conditions, and it states that you can link and unlink any debit card, any bank account as you wish. So since I unlinked that, I hit cancel. I should actually be granted my funds. But PayPal said there's like thousands and thousands of accounts being frozen because they're basically stating that this is fraud on their end, because I cannot verify that I am ownership of that account at the Federal Reserve Bank. I said,
exactly.
Look, I said, I have my picture ID, I have my social security card, and my birth certificate. That's the only paper ship I have showing ownership. Still, they don't know what they're going to do. They're still researching it. So.
No, well, yeah, we've seen this. The guy that's going after the pedophiles, they did the same thing, and it's a third party that basically they bully. Now we're seeing the teeth come out of the tyranny of all these corporations that are New World Order linked, and they're basically just setting their own rules. They don't care about it coming out in the the open, and PayPal is a big one of them.
Vic Fisher said to look out the YouTube channel Mike O'Brien. He's in the chat. Yeah, that channel's awesome. He's actually been researching this as well. He's got PayPal on a recording, and also the Fed on recording. So it's actually a pretty good channel. Mike O'Brien. Y'all need to go sub him. Wow, Truth, Love, and Honor said that PayPal's messing with people that vape as well because of the FDA BS. Huh.
With what?
People that vape because of the FDA BS, that PayPal's messing with them as well.
What do you mean the vape?
I guess if they try to go order vaping equipment or stuff, PayPal's messing with them. I don't know what he means.
Yeah, PayPal.
Electronic cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's taking away from their Philip Morris money. So they're going to punish you.
Yeah, any knowledge coming up against any of these large companies, if to see that we're able to use what they've been using all along, there will be punishment along with it.
Oh, yeah.
To get away with it while you can.
Well, I think, I don't know. There was a guy that put in a mystery put option, and he put it for, it was $287 million today on VIX, which is the volatile index for October. So I was just saying that because my guess, my best guess on it is around September 27th. This guy put it for and I think it was October 12th. So that's like right in the zone. I'm just playing this because whatever.
Are y'all ready for the eclipse?
Is that
I
August
wish
21st?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to get somebody that I don't. It's only partiality here, and I think it's still going to be able to be seen. It's not going to be fully recognizable here in California, but
I'm pretty close to one of the areas. I think I'm going to be able to see it all. I'm going to definitely, I don't know about live streaming it. I'm going to get my P900 though and film it that way. And then I might just have to do it with my phone live. But
why don't you do it with your P900?
I can't live stream with my P900.
Why?
I don't know.
You connect it to your Wi-Fi, I thought.
Yeah, I guess I could. Yeah, it is Wi-Fi capability.
Yeah.
I could just use that for my Hangouts camera and do it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll try. I can't make any promises. I need to actually get a really good tripod first, though.
I'm going to get as far north as I can, but I don't believe I'll make it to Tennessee.
Paducah, Kentucky is one of the places listed as far as the full eclipse for like 2.5 minutes. And Paducah, Kentucky is like 2 hours away from me south. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get a good glimpse of it.
I just can't believe they're declaring state of emergencies over it.
What?
Wait,
what are you talking about?
Up in Oregon, they're already getting prepared for no cell service, no power, traffic jams, grocery stores running out of food.
What does a solar eclipse have to do with cellular service?
Well, they're saying the amount of people that will be coming to the areas to view it could shut it down.
And they're saying roads and all kinds of stuff, so it's like it's a whole 9 yards.
Oh, well, I might not be able to get to go live, huh? We'll see.
Yeah. May have to be prepared to film it and then upload it later.
Right.
But they're really making a big deal of it out in Oregon area. They're really making a big ordeal out of this, that they're warning people within a week noticed, to be prepared, water, food.
Holy hell!
Like,
Yeah, see, it goes right here and starts right here. So it's not. It doesn't even go in California, or is that the tip top of California? I think it enters here in Oregon, and then it goes right down here.
right, and around Kentucky, Tennessee, that's going to be your pinnacle area where it's going to be the darkest, I believe.
Let's see. Oh yeah, this is nice. HD. That's what I like. So the greatest eclipse is going to be
Hey, James, is there
right
any way
here.
you can move your fan just a little bit to where it's not like hitting the mic so bad? Like, I don't want you to burn up and stuff, but I can just hear it real bad right now for some reason. Thank you.
It's going to be right here. So what is that? In what is that? Tennessee? No.
Yeah, that's Tennessee, Kentucky right there, where that red line is.
Kentucky, and is that in Kentucky still? No,
Yeah,
that's in that's in St.
Kentucky,
Louis.
honey. No.
So this is Kentucky.
Yes.
What about this?
I guess we'll find out.
Hey, I hope you guys all have your gear good to go. I hope everybody's set, because whenever something pops off, you guys need to. You can't call 911. You're gonna have to be self-sufficient. So.
What do you mean you can't call 911?
The cops are going to be taking care of their own families. They're not going to come to help you.
Oh, well, I was just thinking, like as far as actually being able to call 911, you do realize, and this is kind of irrelevant, but any cell phone that doesn't have service, like an old, will still be able to call 911.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you can call 911, but it's like those people, they're going to...
Yeah, I know what you mean now. I was just saying.
Yeah, they have to take care of their own families, so it's not like they can come medevac you or come save you from somebody trying to attack you. It's, you're basically going to be on your own, so...
That's like right on the state line of Missouri, Illinois, and Kentucky, James.
Yeah.
It's like a tri-state line. Which I'm really close to that area. Like you see where the word Kentucky is? I'm right next to the K. Haha.
Yeah, so you're gonna even if you just stay right there, you don't need to go into this zone. You're still gonna get like a really good eclipse from your home.
Plus, I've got the P900, so I mean, that makes it even better.
That's a good camera. I wish I had one.
It's awesome, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You want to hear something weird? So I thought I was filming a UFO last night. And I go, and this morning I'm recording my dog and her puppy playing. And I try to pull up that footage that I just recorded this morning, not the UFO, but the footage from this morning, and it said file not found. And I've never had any issues with this camera pulling up any previous footage. And I just thought that was really odd. And it took me forever to actually pull up last night's footage of the UFO. But it basically just looked like a star in the sky. I don't know if it was Venus or what, but it looked orange. But I had the tripod and I had it on the table, and it's a little mini tripod and it doesn't work that well, but my camera was not moving and this thing was going all over the place. But it's not very good footage, so I'm not even going to pull it up. But I see it all the time in the same area right above my tree lines.
Well,
And if you
down
all
here,
want to see what I'm talking about, go to my channel and pull up UFO still shots. And that is like the craziest pictures I've ever taken. And that was actually from a video of a UFO. And I'm telling you what, one of them even looks like the character from Saw, the puppet from Saw. One of them reminds me of that.
What's the name
down
of it?
here,
UFO still shots.
Yeah.
I think I saw one time, like around Lake Tahoe, like on the way up there.
You got to go to videos, I think, James.
Yeah. I was on a snowboarding trip back in 2001 with some of my high school buddies.
Okay, so that's the UFO, but that's not the still shots. I did a separate video on the still shots of it. I don't know why it's not coming up. The UFO one is.
We'll just see this one.
It might be the next video after that. But that's the UFO that I'm talking about, that I zoomed in on and was able to take the screenshots from. And you can tell right there, it looks crazy. Look at that. I think I filmed that with a Galaxy S5 or S3. I'm sorry, S3. That was right in my backyard. And when I pulled up, when I zoomed in on it and did the still shots from the video, I freaked out.
Might be a helicopter.
No. Wait till you see the still shots, hon. That's no helicopter. There was no sound whatsoever.
I live down here by Stennis Space Center. And from there, they fly, I believe they call it a UFE. It's just little drones. And they'll fly them over us. They make absolutely no sound. They're about the size of a back of a pickup truck, full-size pickup truck. And over the top of you, all you can feel is the wind off of them. And they'll get that close to us. But I'll sit there and see them flying sometimes at night. But as far as the UFO, I've never actually seen a UFO. Jacob, you were saying you saw one?
Oh, yeah. Oh, most definitely. He's getting ready to pull up the still shots now. Go to the search bar, James, at the right-hand side. All the way to the right.
There's no search bar.
Yeah, the
It
search bar is right
all
into
right, all right.
Okay. Just like type in UFO.
Stop yelling at me.
I want my $2.
What want my $2?
There we go. UFO still shots. Creepy. That's it.
Looks like a pig's nose.
It looks freaky. And it morphs. It's different shapes. Look at that. That's no freaking helicopter. And now it has to buffer. Love it. Thanks, YouTube.
It's buffering.
It's not very long at all. I don't know why it's doing that.
What if you lower the resolution?
That's a bunch of bullshit. Because then we want to see the best resolution.
I know, but if you lower it, like it doesn't.
Yeah, but it'll be crap then.
I know.
I know.
I've had to
It's
do
already
that.
it's already 360.
Yeah, go up to 720. Just see what it does.
I've had to do it, dude. Like that's I have Comcast and I have.
I've had to do it, dude.
Hey, that did better. That's crazy.
I have the best internet you can get, and I still have issues. So
look at that.
Yeah.
Does that not look like a Saw or a witch with a hat on? An old lady? Look at that.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that little dude from Saw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
like I freaked out when I
the
see
little
that.
thing like riding the bicycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could totally see it. Clown dude, whatever.
Have you seen this one? It's basically, those things that the slow. Let me see. They're like slow. They call them
the morphing one. Like have you seen everybody like recording the same UFO? It kind of looks like birds morphing in the sky, but it looks like a skeleton head. Have you seen that? Everybody keeps recording the same UFO in the sky. It's black.
Not sure. Play it.
My video might get taken down.
That's why I'm not playing it. UFO fidget spinner?
Are you joking?
No, it says fidget spinner.
Oh, wow. Hey, Grumpy Trolls in the chat. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I think these it's the triangle, what's the number for it? TRB.
No idea.
Yeah, I believe that's it.
Something like that. I know Secure Team actually did a video on it, and that was actually where I saw that one that kept morphing. And the thing is, different people, different footage of the same looking UFO, they shot clips of that. So it's not just one place that people are seeing this one type of UFO. You ever seen blackbirds like morph in the sky, like do like a tornado type deal? That's what this one UFO looks like, but it's the same image. It looks like a skeleton head or something. It's crazy looking.
Yeah, that was out back in the 90s. They were flying.
The one over Phoenix?
Hold on, yeah. Grumpy. I'll get you. There you go, man.
The one over Phoenix was, well, see, they got a PSYOP in place where people think that the Phoenix lights were the flares that they dropped on the other side. But really, the Phoenix lights were the freaking thing that was like a triangle, but it was miles long. It was the hugest thing ever, and it floated over the city. And I mean, people saw it in between the mountains, and it went from mountain ridge to mountain ridge.
These are like TRBs, dude. So they're
Grumpy Troll, I wrenched you so you can post that link.
Yeah, that's a TRB.
Phoenix lights.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you, James.
Ryan said
Well, see,
TRB3.
this is what they dropped, and they're like, oh, the Phoenix Lights, they dropped these. This was like 15 minutes after the thing went by, or you know, this wasn't even what the Phoenix Lights really were. The Phoenix Lights were literally the biggest craft ever, and it went over the city, and people said, see, they got all these stupid flares that they say are the Phoenix Lights, but it went over the city, and you could see the stars in back, but as the craft moved, you could see the morphing, because you couldn't really see the craft because it was like the same color as the night,
Right.
but you could see the stars and everything morph, and I think it has cloaking technology because it was shining. It was basically what was behind it. It was projecting in front of it. It's kind of like a cloaking technology. This was back in '96.
For sure, dude. There's definitely cloaking technology, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, even with
But I
our
mean,
Black Hawks, I've seen them go silent before. I've seen
oh yeah,
where four of them would come over the house, one of them would be blacked out and no sound.
well, all they do is they have a reverse of the signal. So like whatever the copter is making, they pump out the reverse of it, and it basically cancels out any of the noise reverberations that you're going to hear. So it basically is like it's whisper mode. It basically cancels out the sound.
Yeah, so for a helicopter, the sound, well, planes as well, the sound goes down. So if you can make the sound go up, people aren't going to be able to hear it, right? If you can make that go up into the atmosphere, then they can't hear you coming.
This was kind of what it was, but it was so big that this, from this end to this end, went from mountain ridge to mountain ridge. But this was kind of what was seen. I don't know if this was like filled in here. I kind of, when I think about it, I feel like it was a solid like kind of thing, but it might have been just this. I don't know.
Grumpy Troll just put in the chat. He said he's seen a UFO in '97 on July 4th in St. Louis. He actually reported it to Post Dispatch, and he said it was reported on MUFON, and he said he's the only one that saw it up close. And he said this year it was the 20th anniversary. And he said
Wow.
he's gonna post a link in the chat. So I wrenched him so he could do that, so we could pull it up.
So I could pull it up.
Yeah. I'm going to step away and get some coffee. I'll be right back if you all want to take a short break.
Well, the reports of UFOs are definitely on the rise. And, of course, you know, I believe it's demonic in nature outside of what our government is doing.
Well, I think that they are, they're like, basically there's ones that are big enough for like Illuminati ships, Illuminati sky ships, which are like basically like floating cities. You got those things. You got pop under. I don't know how it is if they just roll around hovering, like, or they go. What's the deal with them? But but it seems like there is something going on where I don't know if people are moving into these things or what, but that would be the perfect cover for them to have this technology and basically float. You think, you know, they could be underground, they could be in these things. I mean, the way that I've been told, these things are so big that they're like a city. So you could literally like and then they have areas where they come down and people, you know, board and they do all their stuff, but everything is, they use this technology. I don't know if it's been reverse engineered or whatnot. All right. Did you put it in the chat, Grumpy Troll? Grumpy Troll, did you put it in the chat? I don't see it.
I believe he's looking for it.
There it is. So this is the incident right here. July 4th, 97. The National UFO Reporting Center was flooded by reports after masses of people watching fireworks display in Illinois and Missouri observed a brilliant blush object streak across the sky, following as a sample of witness reports in their own words. Which one is yours, Grumpy Troll? Could somebody relay what he's saying? We got Charles, Missouri. We got Belleville, Illinois. We got London, Missouri. Mark Twain. Elmwood. So it looks like it was Missouri and Illinois. Before fireworks show, a blue ball, question mark. A light streaked across the sky. I'd say east to west. There was no noise. It just disappeared after 5 seconds. Did not change direction. It just disappeared. 30 minutes from downtown St. Louis, my family and I, and probably 30,000 others were at the St. Charles River front to watch fireworks. It had just started to get dark, and we knew the fireworks would be starting any time. I was looking into the sky to the south of where I was sitting, and I saw a light streak across the sky. It went in the east-west direction. It was pretty bright. It was blue. Maybe blue-green. It made no noise at all. It traveled in a straight path for probably at least 5 seconds. Then it just disappeared. It did not change direction. It just disappeared. It didn't even fade out. It was obviously not a firework. But I didn't know what it was. I figured it must have been a firework or a plane on fire or an asteroid or something. But it was really too bright for any of that. I didn't actually have a tail. It didn't actually have a tail. It was more of a streak of light. Fireworks started 15 minutes later. I'm a computer systems analyst. My girlfriend is a cash department supervisor. My father is an engineer for McDonnell Douglas. My friend is a cab driver. My preacher is a preacher. No, I'm just kidding. But we all saw it and asked, what the hell is that? Today I heard reports that others had seen it in Illinois, but nothing was said about it in St. Louis, Charles. So the streak of blue light. It seems like that blue light is some sort of the energy system. That's it's like the exhaust or something. Not the exhaust, but it's like the back of it or something. I've always heard of this that blue light. It's a reoccurring thing, like the blue-green light. And what's crazy is then you have the blue-green Stargate.
That would be a great description of a hydrogen cell. That's what it would burn like.
Exactly.
Hey, Mavis PT in the chat. My puppies are mad at me right now. I covered up the crate with a towel so they couldn't see me because they need to go to sleep. and they started growling.
Yeah, so there's that.
What is that?
That's a picture of that's Superman's like kryptonite layer or whatever. I don't know. National Geographic. It looks like the kryptonite layer
It looks like Mammoth
with
Cave.
like a demon.
Wow.
What was that thing that opened up? Obama was there, or Obama came there the next day. It was where the hell was that? It was like a twisting thing in the sky.
That was in Switzerland. I think it was close to CERN.
That would be the guy at the tunnel. Or Goddard Tunnel. But I'm not sure about what Obama was doing.
I didn't hear anything
It
about
was like-
Obama.
Yeah, it was like something. He was either there at that time, or he came the next day, or something like that. Where the hell?
Yeah, they got
Switzerland. What was it? It's what was it actually like called, or is like a missile? What was that? It was like a Stargate or something.
the Goddard tunnel opening is that was last year.
Yeah, the Norway Spiral. Yeah.
Yeah, the Norway Spywall.
Thanks, Doc. And Truth, Love, and Honor. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that blue-green, you know? Whatever the hell's going on, it seems like. And that thing was weird, man. That thing was weird.
Did you go to the links that Grumpy Troll put in while I was gone? He put some links in the
did.
chat. Okay.
It was, no, that's why I went to this, because what he was talking about was a streak of blue-green. And I said, that reminds me of this. And I just wanted to find this. But basically what it sounded like was there was this streak and it just flashed across and then it just disappeared with whatever technology was going on. And the crazy thing about this one was it started out, see, if you could look at this light, the light is spiraling. And then it's like spiraling into this thing. And then it's so weird because this thing starts opening up. And if it was smoke, I mean, it's like, let's see if we can get a video of it. We'll just do the video of the actual, just like 30-second. This one. Yeah, this one right here. It's lower. Let's cut these off. Let's cut these off. Let's cut these off. Let's cut these off. Let's go big. Whatever the hell technology this is, I have no idea, but watch it. Watch the middle now.
Seriously, what would you do if you seen that in real life? What would you do?
I would just
Film it.
freeze.
But look at that. That what is going on right there? I mean, either it's a chemical reaction of some sort or something's going on right there, man. It's like opening up. That is crazy, right?
Does the Bible talk of anything about a spiral, Jamie?
Not that I can think of, but that's something to Google.
Let's slow that sucker down. I mean, look at what the ripple effect is like going into like this like Twilight Zone haze. And then see how it's projecting a spiral, but it's not, now it's like doing its own thing. Like, what the hell is that?
Well, it makes you wonder what's behind that mountain, too.
Right over here?
Right where the spiral's coming, the blue's coming from. What's
Yeah, I
the
think that's a
projection?
it's a base. But I mean, look at how pronounced that is. That's the LCD sky screen technology at its best right there.
Yep.
I mean, to me, it seems like I can't explain what I'm looking at, really. Because at this point, I could say, okay, they're projecting onto the sky, right? They have something up there that's like chemtrail bomb or something like that to make it like a LCD projection screen. But then at this point, when it starts going into this other thing, it's like, wait a minute, what in the hell?
How do we know that's not blue beam? You know how the it's blue, maybe that's blue beam.
No, that's what I'm saying. But it's crazy because look at where it's projecting. It's like radiating out of the projection. So it's like maybe that projection is a projection. I don't know. It's just because at this point, look, you see the projection, it's within the projection, but then it goes out and you could see where the projection stops when that thing opens up, and it's like a cone.
I wonder if
I
you
really
invert
believe
that.
it's,
You know, like say you like I could record that and invert it on Windows Movie Maker like I did with Mr. Anderson's vid and see if we can see anything coming in or out of that. I might just have to do that.
see how it's radiating out from this point? It's like there's something that's spinning at the same time, like radiating this thing. And there's also this beam. I don't know if this beam literally could be going up there, and then it's like, I don't know, understand what it's doing up there, if it's projecting this, because it seems like there's something going on in this spiral, how it's radiating out that is not projected, but it's within this ever kind of expanding cloud of
Ryan,
whatever the hell this is, lithium.
He put a link in the chat. It said spirals over multiple countries. It's a YouTube video.
Okay. It says it can be a helix, which would be DNA.
Yeah. Maybe
We're gonna
that's
slow this one down.
maybe that's like the DNA, the helix from the fallen angels. A demonic DNA.
It's definitely not of God.
Uh-uh.
Come on, you piece of crap. Open up.
Okay, in terms of spirituality, the spiral symbol can represent the path leading from outer consciousness, materialism, external awareness, ego, outward perception. The Celtics practiced that.
So it seems like they're doing this. This is over in China. And oh, by the way, I was trying to find the fallen angel one where it's like a missile thing, but it's coming down. It's really crazy. It has the same type of exhaust where it lights up and then expands.
Right.
So it's kind of like the similar technology used in a different way. I'll show it next. It's they call it missile tests, but one of them is clearly a cross coming down. Ooh, there is a bright flash. This one doesn't seem as pronounced. The spiral doesn't seem as pronounced. See, so that's why I think it's something up there that's spinning. And also that's what they say is this missile test. And look at that bright phosphorus flash.
I know missile tests can do that. I've seen them do it out of Florida at night.
That's what I'm talking about. They had one off Florida and they had one off here in California, but to me it was like a slow moving, anything can be called a missile test. To me it was no kind of missile. It was definitely some sort of technology, but it wasn't a missile test. I don't want to get you a strike. That's why I'm doing it at this speed. So whatever this guy's saying, you know, we're going to have to just skip it.
Appreciate it.
So this is from a different angle. I think this is the one in Switzerland. It's crazy how that other one was such good camera, as if it was set up. Because that was, it got it, like all of it, and it was super, super good quality. Like it was on a tripod ready to be filmed. This one seems like a camera phone that somebody just started filming. But we could see how far, you could look at the ridge line and see, you know, it's not in the same place. So whatever was going on, they were projecting it up. And I think there's a military base right there where it was coming out of.
Anytime you see footage where there's nothing and then something starts and then finishes, always use discernment, because it's like, okay, why were they filming to begin with? How did they catch the very beginning before it even started showing up on camera? You know, it's just, people got to use their brains. And there's a lot of new apps on phones these days, because when I was looking at that one UFO, I was like, okay, so all these same people in different countries are seeing the same like UFO that I was talking about a minute ago, where it looked like the birds, but it's the same exact UFO in all these different places. How do we know it's not like an app on your phone to show a UFO in the sky? Because they do have those now.
Wait, say it again.
There's
An app
apps,
on your phone. You lost me.
There's apps on phones now that will show UFOs in skies.
You can
That'll
actually
make a
project
UFO.
something
Yeah,
onto
yeah.
a
Oh,
thing.
like augmented reality.
Yeah. It's an app. It actually shows, makes a UFO look like it's in the sky. So that one UFO, like I was talking about, that looked like a skeleton head but looked like birds morphing, I'm thinking that's some type of app or something. I just find it odd that all these same people in different countries on different days were filming the same exact identical UFO.
This is what I was talking about. This is the missile that I think this one is off the Florida one. But it's going, and then it's a slow moving missile, if anything. Like an ICBM slow, because that would make sense, because if you could go slow enough and at a low altitude, you could get past a lot of defenses. So that would make sense, but it seems like it does something else. This one is just going across.
Yeah, the one had a blue haze. It was like it was engulfed in blue.
Right. It's always that blue. And to me, that seems like they're burning something, or they're ejecting something, or there's a certain chemical component. And then this is another thing. The tip comes out and it separates from it, so it's like as if that thing was burning off, and then it departs, and then something happens in between where that tip departs. Like if you look at it closely, it does the same thing the opening does. If you look at the dark sky, see how it has like a form and it's moving. It's like opening. Pretty crazy.
It is.
Wow. I mean, who knows? I mean, is it China or Japan that can actually blue beam a city in the sky?
China is
China.
Yeah. That looks like a 6.
It does.
It's the missile test falling. It's like falling angel UFO. Dang it.
Doc Miller said that Obama received his Nobel Peace Prize within 1 or 2 days of the Norway spiral.
That's it. That's what it was. Here it is. So we won't go that slow, but we'll slow it down to approximately 75. Yeah, here it is.
Where'd Skeeto go? And Free Press. They left.
Yeah, Free Press left a good while ago. She had to get to bed.
Oh, okay. I hate it. She didn't talk. She didn't get to talk very much. I'll have to have her on next time.
Yeah, it's kind of late for her.
Yeah. Well, it's late for me too. It's 2:30 in the morning.
So that this looks like Blue Beam.
It does.
But this is right here. This is the same one that started out, and this was like, I don't know. Check how the tip goes out, and then see that circle that goes out. It's same kind of technology. It's, I don't know what it's doing, but it's like the same type of thing.
But you'll notice though, when a rocket goes into orbit or out of orbit or whatever, it projects the same, almost the same type of, I don't even know what you'd call it, tail maybe. But it does look like it's entering into a different orbit or different dimension, or maybe I don't know. Nobody can really explain it, but definitely out of this world. At least that's what they want us to think, right?
That's what they want you to think, yeah.
Northern Lights. Yeah. That's another thing that really captivates me. The Northern Lights are just amazing. But it's like, okay, I know the atmosphere, the temperature, and like it's close to the equator. Am I right as to where that happens? The Northern Lights?
To the Arctic.
Equator?
Okay, to the Arctic. Okay, all right.
Well, and the north.
Equator, yeah. But I mean, it's like I would love to go see Northern Lights, and just
there's
be able
Northern
to
Lights in Boston the other day.
Yeah, that was the lowest that I've ever heard of.
Really?
No. Yeah.
There was Northern Lights in Boston?
Yeah.
Huh.
We're getting some pretty strong CMEs in, which is what they say is the cause of it. But normally, from what little knowledge I have of it, has to do with a lot of reflection off the ice.
Now,
James, you're cutting out.
Right. This,
wow. You'll have to repeat everything you just said, man. You are totally cutting out bad.
Look, it's aiming from way up.
Wow.
That is cool.
Yeah, that looks like a serpent.
Yep.
Maybe Satan actually fell. You know?
We were outside. We had a bonfire going one night, and I looked up and we could see what looked like a rocket was coming in.
That is correct.
It ended up being a Russian booster rocket that had re-entered.
What is it?
I said maybe that's when Satan actually fell. You know? I know he fell when the angels fell, but technically, Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but Satan is actually still gets to go to heaven, right? Like he goes in and out of heaven, and he actually has not been cast yet. Am I right?
No, technically he was cast out of heaven, but he is... It's like there's 3 layers. You have heaven where God is. He has not been
unchained yet. He's not been unchained yet. He's still under the reins of God, and he hasn't been loosed yet, right?
he is being restrained by the Holy Spirit.
Right.
But,
Okay.
but he does walk to face the earth
Right.
because God talked to him, on earth. But he was cast out of heaven, and then you have where we're seeing the phenomenon of UFOs flying through the air and disappearing. They're going into another dimension, which would be into the
Fifth.
like where we're seeing into the stars above the firmament.
Right.
He's now below the firmament. He's got one more level
Okay.
to go where he's going to be cast into the pit of hell. But right now we're seeing we're seeing here, and yeah, he can go interdimensional. He can go back and forth between the earth below the firmament and above it, but he can't get back into heaven.
Right. But I do know that he has to ask God for permission before he does anything.
Yeah, he has limits as to what he can do. I mean, at one time he did anyway. We're getting too close to the area, to the time frame where he is going to be loosed and can do whatever he wants.
Right, and that's what I was saying. Maybe that serpent in the sky is when maybe he's already been loosed. You see what I'm saying? That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, there's a lot of signs that are saying that yes, that's possibly could have happened. When
because there's just too much going on in the world today, such as like Sodom and Gomorrah all over again. It's the technology increase and the wars and rumors of wars, and I think we're in the 7-year tribulation. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion.
No one could answer that yes or no.
Oh, I know.
Period.
I know,
nobody can get.
Right.
But if you stop and think back when Pope Benedict resigned,
right,
and the Catholic, the Vatican was hit twice by lightning,
right,
that night,
and then Israel as well. Israel had that UFO.
So there's the signs are here. And, we have to be spiritually prepared at this point for anything to happen.
Right.
We're seeing the knowledge that's being gained is truly showing us that all of the mythological beings that we were taught up to be fairy tales are turning it out to be real. And if you go, which I don't watch many movies anymore, but if you go into the superhero movies, you're going to see you can take and connect those into these mythological heroes, and all the way back to the Genesis 6:4, where it was the men of renown. And I believe at some point they're going to be loosed. I don't believe we'll be here at that time. That's just my personal opinion, because no one knows. But I don't think that we're going to not see some of it. We are seeing a lot of bad things right now, and we can see it progressively getting worse at an accelerated speed. And when AI is fully functional, it's going to be very...
They have the eyes, though, of the Greys.
Uh-huh.
I think these guys
made... Sorry.
Well, when the fallen angels, when they were cast out, or when they left heaven, God stripped them of their beauty. And I'm just wondering if that's what we're seeing right there.
I believe so.
This isn't, maybe a descendant, but what they would look like after they were stripped of their beauty, where they were stripped of their skin, their wings, maybe that's what and you go back into the artifacts. I don't go back past 6,000 years. I don't believe in that. But you know, the cave drawings, anything where it was showing UFO or it was showing something that resembled this, I believe that's angels and their descendants that were stripped of their beauty.
Well, it necessarily could be. Oh, it could also. The way that I have kind of interpreted it is because they are away from God, their beauty and everything godly kind of falls away from them. So this would maybe be after years and years and years and years about being away. Maybe they. I don't know. I mean, would an angel turn into this damn thing?
Yeah, well,
yeah, because
they were beautiful because they were angels and they were cast out of heaven, and God stripped them of their beauty. So once He stripped them of their beauty, and that makes sense that they would look like this, they would turn into a demon. You know, they were.
But I heard they were
angels.
stripped of their. I heard they're stripped of their beauty because of them being away from the godly realm. From them being away from that, they lost their. How is it, Greyhawk?
Well, they taught man the secrets of God, and that angered God, and that's where their powers were taken from them, or their beauty. The teaching of making war or root cutting, you know, doing drugs.
Makeup and like woodsmanship, all the
basically our whole like society.
Exactly, and the technology.
Right.
Yes, everything. And then after they mated with the daughters of men, He then made them sterile. Am I correct?
From all accounts, and you know the let me get my thoughts together. Their children that went on to populate the earth, and they defiled the earth. They were giants in those days. You know,
Right.
David went up against Goliath,
Right.
but they were also cannibalistic
Right.
in nature. And that was
But
the
those
reason.
are the offspring, right?
Right.
So
right.
were the
Those were the
actual
offspring.
things that mated? It was almost like a spawn of, like the angels mated, and then their offspring were huge or hideous or cannibalistic. You know, but were the actual ones that mated the same thing as their offspring, or were they the angels?
No, the
offspring was different.
offsprings
It
were
was a new
actually
race.
red-headed giants. They are going to, when you see the red-headed giants, that's where you're going to find the angels that originally came down, that were cast into the earth and bound in chains, that will be loosed at some point. Those are the ones that were stripped. Now, I don't know, you know, this is all speculation because nobody has the answer to this. But I believe the grays, the forms that we're seeing, they're projecting these. These are demons that can project in any form that they want, but they go back to their fallen nature.
Right.
Wait, say that again.
The grays that we're seeing, I believe, you know, as the demons that we're seeing, the aliens, I believe they're going back to what their original fathers were, the fallen angels. I believe they go back to what they look like, and that's where they're stripped down with to, just a gray body.
They can basically portray a human. They can portray anything.
Sure.
Yeah, they can morph basically into anything. They can morph into a human. They can morph into objects. Demons can portray anything.
They can attach themselves to anything.
Yes.
Wait, but
yes.
demons don't have a body themselves. Aren't they kind of bodiless spirits?
Well, I think a demon and a fallen angel, I think aliens, greys, demons are the same thing. Now, we don't know exactly, nobody knows exactly how it works, but that does make sense. Like that one video where it showed that man stripping his human flesh and like he basically turned into nothing. You know what I'm talking about? There was a video on a CCTV security camera where it showed the man walking in, basically stripped off his human flesh, and the door opened, but yet there was nothing to open the door.
Wait, what?
What
is that?
There is, that's be cool to pull up.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Sorry, Greyhawk. Just 1 second.
That's right. Go ahead.
Let's see. Real alien taking off human flesh or something like that, or morphing. I don't know how you would. Human skin or body or something. I'll be able to tell you once I see it.
But there's a difference between a demon and a poltergeist. There's a difference between the fallen angels and
a demon. Yeah.
So
I got you. I
so
got you.
There's more than one
biosuit. Maybe that's what it's called.
Could be.
Let me try to find it while you're looking, and I'll put it in the chat.
Go ahead, Greyhawk. I'm sorry.
Alien that morphs what? Go ahead.
Real alien taking off human flesh. Yikes.
Nice looking.
That's, to me, my dream, where I went to this place that seemed like a different planet, but I don't think it was. What ended up happening was you went there as a human, but over time you started to take on these different features. You started getting larger eyes. You started getting, it seems exactly like this.
That sounds like Hollywood and plastic surgery.
Possibly could be. Well, and the crazy part is it had like a purple bluish atmosphere, and it was the only dream that I don't know whether it was so real. It was one of those things where it was like, oh my gosh, it was the one with the underground. It started out where I was on my way. It was in the desert to an underground facility, and I got put onto this pod thing, like it was a sky elevator, like a sky escalator. That were these pods, and it went into this. Basically, it was like a step pyramid, but it had this huge underground like zone where you basically boarded out, and it was basically like Port Authority or something. But these things right here, these things were like monitoring, and they were like in charge, and it seemed like the humans that just arrived. Oh, by the way, all the people were kids. It was all kids, and these things were like the only adults, and they were super mean. They were super, just really scary, and they were like patrolling this step pyramid, and it was like I got put into like a dormitory type thing with these other kids, and we all had no idea what the hell was going on. It seemed like all of us had undergone the same type of thing. And what's weird is I didn't see my mom, but it felt like she was in the passenger seat, but I was told to keep down. Like it seemed like on Earth, like it seemed like the Nevada desert, and it seemed like she wasn't allowed to go, or the person driving wasn't allowed to go, but there was something happening that she was very adamant that I go, because it was like for my survival, but I couldn't understand why. When I got there, I was like, why the hell would my mom, like, it was very scary. It was very scary. Like when I woke up, I was covered. It was like the most realest thing ever. And what's crazy is there's elements, like big time elements, that are like, this was like, I don't know, almost 20 years ago, probably 20 years ago. So that are coming to light. It was just really weird, but that's what spawned me with this freaking thing.
Okay.
And I don't
like
know. People have. Yeah, go ahead.
Sounds like you were seeing the future.
I really do believe. The only thing I can't imagine is what exactly what exactly was going on where she would want me. Well, I don't know. You know, you know how dreams are, but I couldn't understand where I was, because it seemed like a different planet, or like somewhere where I haven't been. But I was thinking, like, what about if that was like the inner Earth or something, you know? Or it was so crazy. And then when I saw this guy, he's called Free Energy on YouTube, and he actually has a video, and he described the exact same thing that I was put on, but he calls it a space elevator, or a space like escalator, or something like that. But he describes this like moving thing that is basically, you can't see it, but you can hear it, that goes along. And he talks about there being a different realm, like right above us, that you can't see, but people could hear it. Like people have reported hearing like factories in the sky and loud bangs and booms and things. And it's that, whatever the hell it is, but it's like right above us. I don't know if it shifts or it moves or what exactly is going on, but it's like a realm. And his thing was complete. He doesn't know who he was describing this thing, and he did a animation, and I was stunned when I saw it, because I was like, oh my gosh. And then Liam X-Mail, his grandfather actually worked in this building that was like, I think it was the money store, or I could be getting it wrong, but it was exactly like a step pyramid. And it triggered him, because he was like, my grandfather, and his grandfather was connected to the military. I mean, it's all this crazy stuff that started connecting. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then the last thing that connected just recently was that short movie called Raqqa, where they're geoengineering the Earth to be, and that's exactly what it was, because when you breathe this in as a normal human being, you started changing into these things because of the different climate or whatever it was. Now I'm starting to think it was like inner Earth or whatever, but anyway, it was like a different blend of oxygen or whatever, and it started changing you physically. And this would be like one of the things that was sent there. It was a human, but after a while, it changes you. And it was one of those things where it wasn't a dream. it was so vivid that I remember, I still have the journal somewhere, and there was so many intricate things, and I was going like, how did I dream this? It took me more time to write out the intricacies of the dream than I was asleep. Like I was like, how did I retain all this information? How it was just amazing. Sorry, it got me off because this thing, I've never seen something that looked so close. And one of the scary things is when I got off onto this like Port Authority type hub that was underneath the step pyramid, a baby was crying, and the baby was out without a mother or anything. And this thing seemed to get annoyed with it. It was like super annoyed, and finally it just went over. It grabbed the baby by the head and it just smashed it against the wall. And they have these like chutes, these airlocks, and it just threw the baby in there after it just killed it, after it smashed it against the wall. And the other things like didn't react. And I mean, it was like traumatizing. It really was. It was like, what the hell is going on? They had no regard. It was as if they were hurting us like cattle. It was scary. It was scary. And what's crazy is that I don't know. There's a couple things that I thought that it might have been a screen memory, and it really did happen. You know, something happened, and then that people talk about these things being able to put like different memories in you, and it was just one of those things where it plays a big part of my life still. And I don't, you know, I'm not going to say that I was abducted or anything when I was a kid. I don't know, but it's weird how it never has happened before. It was like a super vivid, lucid experience.
How old were you?
I would say I was about 13 or 14.
I mean, to me, it sounds like you were seeing what I would picture would be where they were taking people to the guillotines. You would see the demonic beings that were around that would be hurting the people into that. And I've heard stories of where people have had that type of a dream, not so much in an alien presence, but the same description. One of the things that you said, you was talking about a movie called Raqqa that's coming out.
Well, it's out on YouTube. It's really weird, and if you watch it, here, let me put it up. I think it's like some like whatever, but it gets into, look at all these things in Raqqa. You'll see why I tripped out, because not only is there first of all, there's these reptilians, these things that are super ugly, and these things are, now this is not what I saw. I saw the one that I was just on that was like an old man alien type thing. But in this, you have, and it's almost like a step pyramid. It's like these hives, and what they're doing is they're geoengineering the earth. And all this stuff that was going on in Raqqa, I was getting like flashbacks of the dream, and I was like, I don't understand what it all means. And some of it's like not what it was, but then some of it I'm like, whoa, what am I picking up on here? I don't know what the hell it is.
Well, the word Raqqa reminded me of the Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus in it's Matthew 5:22. He says, "But I say to you that whosoever is angry with his brother without cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, shall be in danger of the council. Raka was a Arabic term that was it was a derogatory term where you would call somebody a dog or something like that. They would use the word Raka, and it just, when you said that, it reminded me of that.
Well, that's what. And by the way, in this thing, these things are using humans exactly like what my dream was, where they were just like basically like they didn't care. They didn't care about human life. They were and there was this place that people said where it was in these like hives that was worse than hell itself, where they would do these experiments and people were alive. And here, let me get this picture so you could look at this. It was the
black goo.
No, but it was the hell.
Right.
If you look around, it's really what's occurring right now without the alien figure or the reptilian figures. We're having so many abductions with kids. We're having so many abductions, and where before kids come back and they would have memories of this or that and planted with them. What all are they doing with these kids if they do get released? What are they? Their memories going to be? They're going to have hard. They're scarred for life.
Well, then also Steven Spielberg is there's this thing called it's a TV show. Damn, I forgot the name of it. But you have they took the kids, and it's the same thing where they put these things that connect to their spine, and the way that it was explained, it releases into their brain this form of dopamine, and they basically like the thing that they've been installed with. And if the humans try to take it off the kids, it's like this thing that's attached to their spine. Literally.
Neural lace.
Yeah, and it's like it makes the kids become basically like little slaves of these things, these demons.
Kind of like super soldiers.
Well, they do have super soldier kind of things. Like they're able to do things that ordinary humans aren't able to do.
Right.
But also they're kind of like connected, and they feel like they're connected to these demons, and they don't see like what the hell's going on. Like it's just like a theme that is different but is the same, and it's reoccurring and the same things, and it's speeding up, and it's like it's going on, I think, and they're telling us in different ways, but it all is the same message.
Kind of like in True Blood, that series True Blood, where whatever vampire created the vampire, they feel that connection for life or however long until they're put to death. But then they have the cannibalism and the vampires. It's kind of along the same lines, but
it seems like it's hell on earth, and it's
right.
coming. Like, if you can imagine when all the demons get let out and they're having their time, it seems like it's hell on earth for humans, and there's all kinds of. Remember when God says that men will want to be dead? They'll wish of.
Oh yeah, they will wish to be death, but death will not come of them. Yes, they will wish to die, but won't be able to. Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here. You all can continue. I just got to get off here and get some sleep. I have a doctor's appointment I completely forgot about. It's at 11.
No, we'll wrap it up. We've been going on for a while. I just, I could go on until the cows come home.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too, man. We'll do it again sometime soon. And Hey, Jamie, thanks for coming on. James, I appreciate it. Everybody in the chat, you know I love you, and we'll do this again real soon. Okay? Thanks, you all. Love you.
Sounds great. Y'all have a blessed night.
All right, you as
All
well,
right,
hon.
bye, Christ.
Bye.
Oh, Greyhawk, sorry. No, I thought there's another guy.
Yeah. You're
you know
good,
who I'm
man.
talking about. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
All right. Love you, James.
All right. Love you too, guys. Later.
All right. Later.
Later.